show! From Michael Bay to Marvel, UK, and everyone in between. Breaking news and toy reviews, every robot fans wet dream. Grab a brew and join the crew, become part of our scene. Bring your mom, let's drink her on, make sure you're at least 18. Welcome to the show, the party and let's blow. Friday nights, let's go, Transformers the show.
Scared myself then. Forgot that I set it up to automatically come on at the start of the show. I didn't get to do my little.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's cool. It works. That's the good thing. Hi everyone, welcome to Friday night. Welcome to Transformers the show. What loads coming up tonight, including your top 5 seekers. Plus, it's the opening weekend in UK. We know everyone else has had it already, but it's the opening weekend for the UK of Transformers One. So we'll be talking about that and lots more a little bit later on. Right, the staff. As always, with the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Right, well, we'll start with
speaking a German accent. We lost Pete. He remembers the war, so it's like shell shock. You know?
We'll start with some not particularly not positive.
Something's
news,
happened where Pete's come out, and as he's come out, he's taken the news with him. So there's no news. I can see Pete's backstage. Do you want to come back in, Pete, or are you happy down?
We've lost him. I'm not sure what's going on with Pete.
Is he German? Is he German?
Oh, wait, hi, Pete.
You remember what it's like.
We'll start with the first bit of news, which is sad news that we have to share of one of our own, Mark McDonald, who was for a long time viewer of the show, friend of the show. I know a lot of people who watch the show and are part of the same Facebook groups and things as us knew Mark. And a lot of you knew that he was fighting cancer and had been unwell for a while. And sadly, he passed away on Sunday, I believe it was. Really sad news because he was such a lovely guy, such a friendly guy, very funny guy who throughout being ill, always was so brave and about it and always had a sense of humor about it. You know, he was always making jokes about his own situation, but just a really lovely, lovely guy. And I think it's fair to say that everybody who knew him is just, devastating.
He definitely enriched the community. I mean, he was always replying to posts. He was always getting involved. He was the king of fucking dad jokes. So we've got to be there, you know.
But they were funny.
You know,
gotta give him them.
And if anyone's going to be reincarnated, it'll be that person because God will be going, that's enough of the dad jokes. Like you're going back there.
Send him back down.
He'll come back as an angel. He's definitely there because of these dad jokes. That's his power.
Yeah,
remarkable guy, and I think gut wrenching for a lot of people because he was a stable member of the TF Nation community. He was always there, and I know I probably took it for granted, and I'm going to miss that interaction.
Yeah, it's awful. And I always remember that he watched the show and I made some throwaway comment about Sandstorm, and at TFN this year he was there with Sandstorm. So I'd love you to have this. I know you've always wanted it. Yeah. He said, I'm not sure if I'll be back next. And I was like, shut up, of course you will. And it's harrowing, isn't it, that he wasn't. So
exactly. And we're all very sad. And I can see from the chat that, you know, there's people feeling the same way. So yeah, I think we'll raise a drink to Mark.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Mark.
And of course, it's customary to say to all our one. Anyway, that's obviously sad news that we had. So we will go on to the rest of the show. I know that Mark would have been watching. He's probably still watching now from up in heaven. But we will go on with the show and we will carry on because I know how much he enjoyed it. So
Mark, if you're watching, please haunt Andy. It would be just a riot.
I don't mind that. I don't mind. Although if he could help me with my Wi-Fi, that would always be great. Right. So we'll carry on with the main news now. We'll do the mainline news, I should say. We're starting off with TFN, though. So TFN Minicon in Reading is happening on the 23rd of November. The actual event itself happens at the University of Reading's Great Hall, but the Great Hall itself doesn't have a kind of bar area for people to kind of meet up. But we've had information from Billy Stripes of TFN, who has passed on this information and asked us to share it with our viewers as well, so everybody's aware. So there will be a place to congregate, a place to take your purchases, to sit with your friends and get your bots out on the table. I said bots out on the table. And it's called The Dairy. It's a local craft bar and kitchen. You can see it there. on the University of London Road campus. And it looks nice. The pictures of it look nice. I hope it's got a bit of room for us all to squeeze ourselves in there, but it certainly looks lovely. And we've even got pictures of the opening hours, so you can get in there and get yourself some drinks and scran.
And they're kind of hoping, TF Nation's kind of hoping that maybe they'll be able to convince them to open a bit later. You know, so 11:30 is late enough, actually, when I think about it. But, 11:35.
Yeah. Woohoo! Lock in. And there is a menu there. So just in case anybody at some point who's going wants to come back and pause this and have a look and see what kind of food there is. So in advance, because some people get very anxious about that kind of stuff, whether they're going to be able to get something to eat. So you'll be able to have a little look. This is I believe, the menu as it currently stands, and we're not expecting it to change massively. So there's that there for people.
£10 pizza from the pint, can't beat that, can you?
Yes,
not bad, is it? But Cockney prices,
bit cheaper than the
Mandy student discount. I've card.
Get the fake student union IDs. I'm a student. I'm a young person like you. Moving on. Right. We all know how much Jamie loved this last week, so here are some more photos from the TFW 2005.
Can I just add one more thing
about
the TF Nation?
Oh, sorry, go on.
We were told to share this last week, but we decided to be professional and wait for TF Nation to post about it.
Let them have the glory, and then that's the only reason that we posted later. The only reason. Right, so TFW 2005 member Elton Lynn 98 has shared images of the Hot Wheels Track Fleet Ultra Magnus that he picked up. Now, we saw an image last week. I think these are from the same person, but you get to see it a little bit more. And, a lot of people want these, though. It's popular.
Considering it's not transforming, there's no reason to have that mold. It's just like...
disturbing.
But why Ultra Magnus of all... I don't know.
Well, they've got Optimus Prime and they've got Bumblebee, and they've gone with Ultra Magnus.
Yeah, I can see those two.
It's easy though, because the truck's the same, so you don't have to change the truck multi. So it'll be that.
What they based those missile launchers on? I need evidence.
Look at that! It's brilliant. Anyway, for Ultra Magnus fans, as some people are, I'm sure they're very excited for this. And then there's also a picture of it, which I presume is either on a box or a poster or something like that. So there you go. And it says there that Ralph Benitez was did the package art render. So there you go.
Oh, great manager as well, wasn't he, for Liverpool?
Yeah, I loved Ralph Benitez.
Many talents.
Great for the tune. Anyway, cracking on. This is Transformers One Matrix of Leadership statue, which is $30 basically from Walmart in America. I have no idea if it's going to be stocked over here in the UK, but that's how much it costs if you get it from America. And there's also an Autobot Decepticon decal set, and apparently vinyl melts on a stick, whatever the hell they are. Anybody? Is that a sweet? Something like that? Just
vinyl
strange.
melts in it.
That's what it's called. Vinyl melt. Oh, you wouldn't eat vinyl, would you? Or maybe you would.
Is it the latest drug to hit the market? I don't know.
Call it vinyl.
If you run out of crayons,
that classic feel. Anyway, there's the actual Matrix. Obviously, it's maybe it's not, but it seems to me to be aimed more at the kids. It's supposed to represent the Matrix from Transformers One, as opposed to the one from the original Transformers the movie that us older fans are used to. There's better Matrix. If you're a collector, there's better Matrix replicas out there. If you want like a G1 style one. I don't know. There was one some people were talking about in the group that was, I think, £55, which is only 20 odd pounds more than this if you equate it straight across as $30 to £30, as they normally tend to do when they bring these things across. But anyway, we might see these were in Walmart, weren't they? So is that Asda over here? So we might see them. Look, Paul's on the phone now getting his ordered. He's so excited about it. He's actually ordering his as we speak. That's what we like to see. Keen on it. Fall of Cybertron. We knew that these games were coming, or we suspected it. We'd had leaks and things, and we've seen on the actual Xbox shops and things like that, you can actually see the information about downloading. At the moment, it's just Fall of Cybertron. I don't think War for Cybertron has appeared on there yet, but there are rumors that one is coming back as well. So that's good news for those of us who love that game, because it is a good game and want to be able to get on and play again. get that online team multiplayer stuff going on, because that was some of the best stuff to do. This one is the vinyl. What's it called? I forgot it. Super 7. That's the word I was trying to look for. This is the Super 7 Megatron that comes in the VHS style box. So we've seen the Soundwave, we've seen the Optimus Prime, which I think was last week, and this is the Megatron now. Again,
I'm going to be controversial here,
box.
but I think they did a disservice to the box art we used to see on these VHS tapes. They were awesome. You know,
I don't
maybe
think
had
it's as good,
nothing to do with the cartoon. In fact, they should have done homage to that. It should have been a picture of like Astro Train or something that's not even in the box, and then you get Megatron. I just
Oh yeah, that's what it should have been. That's what we got here, wasn't it? You know, the picture on the front had nothing to do with the episodes that you were watching. I do know that the VHS Soundwave one, that was Amazon exclusive. Optimus Prime was a Macy's exclusive in America, and this one is, I don't know. Do we know if it's online exclusive, or if it's just available from online retailers? There's no information about it being exclusive to anyone here. There is somebody who's become a viewer of the channel and just recently subscribed, and I've forgotten his handle. It's something Mirage. He's a lovely guy from America.
SGM Lord Mirage.
That's the guy. Hey, and he's there. And he sent me a message today saying that he picked up the Optimus Prime one, because he said that we knew we'd been talking about it last week. So, you know, they're out there in the US for those people who can get them. And I know we have US viewers who will be looking around their local stores. But I also know your distribution over there is sketchy, shall we say, at best. So you might get them, you might not. I'm sure they'll be online somewhere, though. And then there's the Megatron. He looks like Megatron. And that's the best I can say about it. Yeah, he does look a bit squinty. He's like he's had enough of our bullshit. Blockies, God loves Blockies. The Action Edition, I think they call it, of Megatron. So we've got some kind of renders of it here. It looks nice. Is that supposed to show some kind of damage or something? I'm not entirely sure, but
I think it's how it goes together.
Oh, is it just putting it together?
Prime, yeah.
Of course, because you've done the Prime in an excellent video that people can watch on our channel, should they wish to, after the show. What a wonderful thing for them to be able to do, Pete. And there he is, showing you what he really thinks of you, Pete. 2 fingers. It's rude, just downright rude. Somebody asked the question: does it come with the throne? And the answer to that is, I have no idea. I've not seen anything about it coming with the throne, but maybe it does, because, you know, they do stick some extra bits and pieces in with these Blockies figures. In my opinion, they are excellent value for money. Then there's a couple of the grey prototype shots with it as well. But yeah, it does look good. Pete, will you be picking one of these up to go with your Optimus Prime?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Thank God it wasn't just a one-word answer. It was the same word.
I just like seeing a picture.
Bloody right.
They're not doing an actual crotch thrust. You know.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be a crotch thrust for every single non-transforming transformer.
Blockies is a class brand. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how good the stuff has actually been, considering, I think it's fair to say, about a year ago, most of us wouldn't have ever heard of them, but just amazing stuff.
No.
Transformers One news. It has been mentioned by Paul already that it's out in the UK now. I know a lot of people have been going to see it today. At this stage, when this update came out, the film had made its 75, it'd gone past its £75 million budget and made 80 million globally. But then we got another update later in the week that worldwide it had reached 98 million. So it's obviously
it wants to make about 150 million, really, and then it's.
I think so. Yeah. Well, when you include in all the other costs, because of course most people just include the cost of the actual making of the film, but there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there, for the film companies?
Well, they haven't spent anything on fucking marketing, have they?
There you go. It was Jacob who asked.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Pete. Sorry, Andy. Pete, could you do a build video when you pick up the Megatron Blockies? Is that something you'll do? Because they liked your Optimus Prime one.
Yeah, get it done.
Yes.
There we go. Right, let's get on to this, which excited a lot of people, apparently. So, so this is the Naruto Shippuden Transformers crossover.
Already.
Oh, you said pre-order. I thought you said pre-ordered.
No, I pre-ordered this already.
You have? Oh, there you go. So, well,
on Amazon USA.
Is that how you managed to
international returns?
So there you go.
Unless
Anybody
live in
wanting it?
Wales. Yeah.
Get on. Get on that. This is no apologies for pronunciation. I don't watch Naruto. I have no interest in it. Kurama and Gamakichi, as you've never seen them before in transforming robot form. Kurama shifts from robot to his 9-tailed fox mode in 14 steps. Well, good for him. Gamakichi converts into a toad form in just 12 steps.
And you
there's
mold,
the
it
ultimate
seems,
mode.
as well.
Yeah, although the bigger one is based off the Cheetor, isn't it? The Kingdom Cheetor, I believe they said. And it comes packaged. It comes packaged with these blast effect type things, but to represent obviously what you see in the cartoon. And also, there's the box that comes like a scroll, which I do think the box is quite clever.
Does no one else think this is a bit mental?
I think it's awesome. If you want this bad boy, head over to Amazon to pre-order now.
Oh dear! It's a scroll-inspired box, a scroll box rather. Yeah, scroll-inspired box straight from the Naruto universe. Of course it is.
I don't know. I just don't know really now.
Who was crying out for this?
They must be getting some decent sales from these crossovers. You think they've done the X-Men one and stuff?
No, they're just getting scoops of shit and seeing which
this would be good in Japan. They've got theme parks. They've got theme parks for this character in Japan. Well, for Naruto, the whole universe. It's huge in Japan and East Asia, so it'll be massive there. And Hasbro have actually hired someone who can speak Japanese to do some of the box art, unlike Ubisoft, who decided, all the languages are similar anyway, we'll just make the
Google Translate.
You know,
Ubisoft, wankers.
It needs to be burned with fire. Burnt with fire and run over.
And then reverse. And then back.
Still my favorite ever Ubisoft meme is that it's my favorite meme ever is that guy who texts Ubisoft saying Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of the most amazing games ever, and Ubisoft texts back go, oh thank you, but I don't think that's one of our games. And he bet back, yeah I know, you could never make a game that good. It's amazing.
That's just top quality trolling though. That is right up there.
I've seen that so many times.
Let's move on. So we've had the reveal now from Walmart's website of the upcoming retro G1 Gears and Bumblebee. The Gears is obviously a reuse of the United one, but with a toy accurate head and apparently slightly different deco.
I love this.
Yeah. Bumblebee is the Netflix figure, reused as far as well.
This is a good product because basically this almost gives you the Gears from the Marvel G1 UK comics. You know, apart from the face, we had a bit of a down, bit of a cross. It was more like a visor cross, upside down cross. But yeah, that's kind of awesome. And then a lot of people are still after the alternate mode for Bumblebee, that sort of Netflix alternate mode, which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's got the Autobot symbol as well, where it should be on the chest.
Yeah,
it looks better like that. I stuck a sticker on my one. Razel asked, was the retro Bumblebee and Gears available for pre-orders in the UK? Because it hasn't been.
It's the 13th that these are going up, apparently on In Demand. Nick from In Demand actually commented on a post about this and said that the pre-orders for these would go up on the 13th, and the prices of these were. I was expecting it to be higher. I think he said £23.
Whoa!
With RRP's 25. I'll tell you what, I'll be getting them because I just love the packaging. I love the fact it's the toy mode of Gears with that toy head. That's the one I'm most excited about. But I don't necessarily have that Netflix Bumblebee. So, you know how people were like selling these for a fortune, and now you're just going to be able to get one for like 23, 25 quid. That's a top.
That should have been Studio Series 86, though, shouldn't it?
No, you're wrong there, my friend.
Please, Jamie. Why?
Bumble Jumper said his head should be too.
The head on this Bumblebee should be different. If you're doing the toy Gears, this should be the toy Bumblebee, so it should have a different head. If you
colours are nice though. They've got those colours spot on, haven't they, to the G1?
And it's the Netflix Bumblebee. Everybody knows the Netflix Bumblebee is a very good Bumblebee figure.
I kind of see this as the Bumblebee as we kind of saw in the comics. No. I think this, the alternate mode is.
No, you're wrong.
I don't think he agrees.
You're wrong.
Pete can't remember that far back. He was fucking sketching tablets and stuff like that.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Pete was there when the first ever comics came out.
Back in 1978, I was there.
Pretty sure there was comics before 1978 anyway. All right then, moving on. Where were we? Oh, this thing. Yeah. So this is the AMK Pro, the last Knight Optimus Prime figure. 20 centimeter model kit. It's the Pro ones, so it's the ones that are a little bit harder to put together. Well, not harder, but more of a challenge. And it comes with everything you see in that picture. And if you're a fan of the Last Knight design for Optimus Prime and you want something like this that's going to stand on your shelf and pose well and look fierce, then I am sure you will want to pick this up. And there are a lot of fans of the Bayverse stuff. Even the Last Knight. No idea why. Film's terrible. Maybe it's the designs, though. You know, you can like the designs. This is not my favorite Optimus design from the movies, but it looks good.
The AI art have made that. I don't know. I
Apparently
like the ones on the back.
Apparently, it comes with a Nemesis Prime alternative face. So you know how he turns. Spoiler alert! He turns kind of to Nemesis Prime because that freaky quintessal woman thing just touches him or something, and he just turns evil. That's all it takes. Brilliant. Anyway, it comes with that, and it's got loads of stuff: posable hands, interchangeable face parts, interchangeable wrist parts, sword arm, upgraded base and metal stand, all the shizzle you could want to really have lots of options.
Do you guys like this? Because
no, I don't. He's crotch dusting there. Not particularly, but that's more because I don't like the design.
His crotch
I mean,
got
some of the Yolo
handles,
Park stuff is excellent.
which are convenient.
Well, exactly. That can have its uses.
I do think the colours do pop, but I don't know. The design.
Can you actually see any fucking detail, old man? Can you?
Oh, here we go. You need 20/20 vision, perfect 20/20 vision, like certain members of the team.
It's a protected characteristic, so you know, if HR are cool, I think.
Do we have HR? Anyway,
Can you imagine?
so you ring it and it's just Jamie. Piss off.
It's an interesting new type of stand, though, because other stands were fixed before, which are a bit useless. In this one,
Yeah,
flexible.
that is true. Yeah, and well, I think they're claiming it's an improved stand. I believe this is from the US, or at least from the Yolo Park website. Sorry, it's $56.99. So it's scheduled for release in the last quarter of 2024, so not too far away, and it's 20 centimeters, Pete. Are you checking the height of the figure? Because you're putting why are you putting the tape measure down there?
Just
are you comparing?
There's 5
you know,
centimeters
four times the size.
57 quid's a lot for a 20 centimeter monstrosity.
Oh dear. Oh, well, it gets better. If you think that's good, you'll love this. Here is
Yolo Park.
the Yolo Park. Sorry, it's Super 7 Transformers Arc playset. Revealed in full. It comes with an Optimus and a Megatron. There they are playing with themselves.
So misleading. When you said there's a Super 7 set arc, I was like, fuck, that's going to look awesome.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
the
but that's
actual
it. Everybody's like, oh, an Arc playset.
Yeah.
This could be awesome. Think of the photo opportunities.
it's
You know what it would look like. And it's this. So they're calling it action playset. Not my words, their words. Don't write letters to me. There it is.
Some assembly
There's part of it.
required.
I mean, yeah.
You're not
I'm
allowed to
defending
done
this.
it.
This is- I love the fact that Super 7 stuff basically just stands in a completely static straight pose as well. It's just no effort. And then you get that background.
Oh,
That's it,
awful.
really.
That's awful.
Exactly. I can't.
Yeah.
I almost can't believe that they've gone. Yeah, that'll do.
They must
Put that
treat
out
us
there.
like mugs, and we'll probably buy it.
Anyway, yeah, I got my pre-order. in somebody else.
$49.99.
Is that the same size as the Cat Slayer? Similar design, is it? A bit of
Could you
cardboard
imagine
back.
Those Optimus and Megatron are actually 12 inches tall.
Yeah. Massive.
The background is like front room sized.
Oh, that'd be wonderful if it was true. Although it still looks crap. Anyway,
No,
so there you go.
My house
That's
isn't big
the mainline news. So let's do some third party.
Let's party with third party.
Battle this.
Heavy metal cruncher time as Optimus Prime goes toe-to-toe with Combat Megatron. Prime is one tough dude underneath his hood. He's a transformer missile flying phenomenon. Combat Megatron is combat armed. His mighty mega missiles are slamming. He can metamorph and use mega force, but Combat Optimus is still standing.
Yep, that's what she said. Right. So Sam's Forge, who I was very lucky enough to have quite a long conversation with at TFN, and he's an incredibly talented individual. You might know him as the British kind of toy designer, toy creator, who now works with MMC on some of their Mastermind Creations, on some of their figures and things like that. This is his take on R50, well, based on R50 Supermax. It's the IDW Fortress Maximus. And there's a bit of excitement about this because although he's printed it himself, he's put it together himself. You might remember him from the Whirl figure that he did, which we showed off in the show. This has all apparently been sent off to MMC for them to basically see if they can get it out there as an actual figure for us. So, yeah, I mean, it looks pretty damn fierce.
Some alternate mode.
When you talk about talented people in the fandom, and I know this is, I know is pretty much a job for him, but
I mean,
still,
look at that.
the skill, yeah, phenomenal.
The Whirl was impressive to see him when he showed it off to us at TFN, and he was showing us the transformation and everything. It was just mental. But to see this thing, I mean, that is immense. So if you've got the Fans Hobby Overlord, the MMC Overlord, then you will need this for your collection when it eventually comes out. So fingers crossed, we will hear more on this, and it will become a real thing. I mean, it just looks awesome. Look at that. God damn.
Take a bow, son. Take a bow.
If not, Sam, can make some more. We'll buy them off you. That'll be lovely.
Well, I've got a spare cage. We can get them.
Round them up.
Cage. I've up to upgrade the dungeon.
I'm slightly worried as to why he's got a space now. Space has just opened up.
Well, if you don't produce, you're gone.
Release the Gav Burgess. Anyway, so Sam's Forge, fantastic work, absolutely fantastic. And Sam did say that he would quite happily come on the show sometime. So we need to get in contact with him and get him on just to talk about how in God's name you come up with all this stuff, because it just blows my mind. It absolutely does. Genuinely fantastic. A little bit of, it's not necessarily third-party news, although Dame Choc does share a lot of news of third-party figures as well as the official ones. But Dame Choc, who many of you will have followed on Facebook and his other social media feeds, his Facebook was taken down. Basically, there seems to be something going on with some of the people who post some of the toy information. He's not the only one who's had problems. I know TM Reviews, I think, had commented about having an issue as well. So he's set up again as Dame Choc updates. And yeah, if you haven't followed him already, find the official one, because his Facebook page basically got nicked.
But the good thing about Dame Choc's reviews, unlike some of these other sites, he didn't steal stuff and then claim it was his.
Yeah. He always gets credit.
And I'll tries his best to find out. But I also noticed in the G.I. Joe community, there was someone who was stealing stuff, posting it on their like Instagram and YouTube and whatever, and then complaining about the people he originally stole the stuff from and getting their stuff shut down. So there's a lot of underhanded stuff like this going on all the time.
Yeah. Oh look, there's my name there. I didn't notice that until just there.
Getting all up in his business.
Yeah. Anyway, I like you, Dame Choc. So there you go. Right, we'll move on because we've got more to cover. So this is the Iron Factory IFEX 72R Chaos Blaze. Now, I feel like we've seen like an old version of this.
It's a they've used this mold a lot. I don't think they've used it quite.
It looks like the Balrog. You are right. Yeah, it definitely has that
you
look.
Shall not pass.
But it is a very fierce-looking figure. This thing.
Thankfully, I've got a big staff to deal with it, so we're okay.
I know, but I mean that's just.
Can it transform?
I will use that. I know how to use.
Yeah.
Like any staff, it needs 2 hands.
What was that you said, Pete?
Shut my fucking mouth.
I get tired of being right now. I'm joking. I'm assuming the flames must be detachable
Fallen.
somehow, so you can transform it. Because
Is that the
otherwise, I'd
fallen
be
mode?
terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It
the
is.
fallen mode. Yeah.
I hope it's made from razor sharp glass, but just
Oh,
slices
just-
it.
Yeah, cuts you to pieces.
56 steps.
Will you
Death.
survive?
You'll never make
Blood
it.
lost.
Dead by step 15. Anyway, so we had that, and yeah, it looks pretty damn fierce. Then, moving on, we had this. So these are photos from Uranus. These photos come from Uranus. Stop it. He's a well-respected toy photographer. I've no
That's what
idea
I'm
why I chose
laughing
that name. What name will really sound awesome? I know. Uranus.
No, it's not that. It's the model. It's,
Oh,
yeah.
what, the Beast War thing? Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to get the Beast Wars fans on you. This is Iron Romance
Nom, nom,
Workshop's
nom, 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 nom,
Bloody
nom, nom.
Asura, which is their version of Beast Wars Rampage. Not Ravage. Not Rampage. Not Ravage. Moth will confirm. Rampage, not Ravage.
You'll have a bloody something.
Here we
I don't know
go.
about what else.
But you see, Pete, you know you love this. You know you're going to be picking this up. You know you love a bit of Beast Wars action, and this thing is certainly Beast Wars. The crab head crotch is just an amazing touch. Just
Yes, Guzzy. Yes.
it is hard to find the words to describe the crotch nipple. I like that. I like that. That made me laugh. Anyway, so there you go.
It's wrong, isn't it? It's just wrong.
Yes.
Look how happy it is.
This is not what the fandom
Hey.
needs.
Who said about handles? Look at that. Anyway,
It's all the rage now.
oh my word. Theory, it's everyone. It's everyone. But you know, if this is your bug, then I don't
Enjoy
know,
yourself.
a medical help. I don't know. Anyway, there's the crab mode thing. Very, crab-like. And there it is.
It's like Chucky had a
No
dog.
idea when it's out, or if it's out now. Maybe it's out now. I think Primetime Toys. I'm sure Moff said they were looking to get it in. So yeah, get it from Primetime Toys. Go search their website for it. And if it's not on there yet, I'm sure it will be at some point. And if it's not, drop Moff a message, and he'll see what he can do for you. And then Doctor Wu, because never a week goes by when we don't seem to have Doctor Wu. This is their versions of Sideswipe and Ransack. Is Ransack Side
That
Slip?
sounds dodge. That sounds dodgy, doesn't it? A side slip.
Oh, I've had a side slip. And Plunder.
Plunder the
is-
side slip.
Side slip and plunder. Oh, that sounds.
I was going to make a joke, but we're trying to keep this clean. Then we have the repaints, of course. So we've got Red Line, the Red Alert, and Firenet. What's this one called again, Jamie? The Green Beetle one. Barrage, is it?
I
Is it
think
Barrage? Something like that, anyway. From the deluxe ones. I don't know why I'm asking, because I've got it written down somewhere, but not right in front of me. Tiger Mark. I love that's the best name. Tiger Mark. Mark.
I just remember him always getting his head blown off in Time War titles.
Yeah.
Or
Oh, yeah, he did, yeah.
disintegrated.
And then
Yeah.
Butcher, which is their version of Chop Shop,
Chop chop.
which is fun to say.
When you
And
said
then-
that side slip, the certain Alan scene went into my mind, and then Dan's written, Alan, you've come free at the side. The bit where you say down with
Side
his jaws.
slip. Yeah. It's not a cry for help. The inner pant lightning's perished.
Alan,
Oh,
you've come free
anyway.
at the side.
And they've also done well, it's not Tripticon, is it? It's is it Gigacon, whatever it's called, the later
Gigatron.
version of it? Gigatron, maybe whatever it is. There it is.
He's an evil dragon.
He is. Oh, isn't he?
Naughty, naughty boy.
He's a very naughty dragon. It's their Tripticon repaint anyway, and it's called Evil Dragon. This is the Iron Factory. Now, this is one of the first variants that we've seen from Iron Factory. This is their toy-esque Megatron version of Romulus via a New Age. Sorry, not Iron Factory, New Age. And yeah, it comes with apparently 2 different faces, I think it is. So you can have a toy or a cartoon face, and then
I just wish you would get rid of that decal in the front. You know, the sort of penis thing homage. I just,
The what now?
you know, the squiggly line. You know, someone's drawing a penis, and then it went smaller, 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 and then big again. You know, I just wish you would get rid of that and just move on.
Just wish they'd grow up.
Yeah,
Really.
grow
That's
up.
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bloody children. The chest hair? Yeah, it's not my favourite look of it. I think the first version we saw of this that didn't have it looked a bit better.
It's actually quite it's quite big for Legends figure though, I think.
Yeah, it's the chug scale.
Chug
It's
scale.
not
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
a Legend scale. It's the one
Yeah.
that they've done to be roughly the same size as the Studio Series 86 Prime, although it's been proven I think it's a little bit smaller.
But it's a third party, isn't it? So they're probably going to
Yeah.
release another version which is more
Oh, they will.
cartoon accurate.
Oh, they'll have several versions of this. All the flavors will be catered for. I am sure of that. But I mean, I'm not a big fan of this deco, but the figure itself looks very good.
But you're right. The original deco, the original artwork was completely different to what we're seeing now, and a lot of people are losing interest because of it.
Well, I mean, you've got choice, haven't you? You'll have a choice as to which version you get. That's the thing. You know, you don't have to get all of them.
And I think, you know, the good thing with New Age is they are the higher end of the Legends scale. You know, they're like the fans' toy equivalent. So this will be exceptional, and I think the transformation will be something to behold.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are still excited for it. We shall see. We shall see what it's like. I'll be interested to see the first reviews and, you know, see whether it is as good as it looks. Because I still think that transformation is going to be a bugger. Magic Square. So this is the Lord of War Masterpiece Scale Bruticus. Combiner special edition of MS Spock, which is Legend Scale Shockwave. So including in current version, animation version, combiner parts will be sold separately. So if you want the
Moff, I have to respond there. Moff, you misheard me. I said the repaints is actually a benefit this time because then hopefully it won't be pish looking.
Here we go. Here we go. Fight! Anyway, so there you go. You get an idea of the scale. There's the shockwave that it comes with, or what did they call it again? Spock, which is quite a good name for it, actually, considering, you know.
Well, this had been stressing me out because I thought I'd commit too early, and they were going to bring out a more toon accurate version, and there was no way on earth I could have justified getting a second Magic Square Masterpiece Bruticus. But the fact they're bringing out
The parts.
these pieces,
Yeah. Which you do have to buy separately.
See, I can live with that. Not buying a whole new fine box.
Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah.
I can buy some pants and a breastplate.
I can buy some pants.
I'm cool with that. I'm
Yeah.
absolutely
It's not
impressed.
even Christmas. But yeah, you can get it. And that's all the news for today. I think we've had enough.
Yeah, brilliant.
More
news,
than
mate.
enough.
Great news, man. Right, pickups.
We now return to the Transformers.
Ooh, what did you get this week, Pete?
I got one thing. It was eBay purchase. Fans Toys rig. Very cool. Quite a double-ended version of eBay. It was a very reasonably priced version, and what made me think it was even more reasonably priced was that it was sealed. So I purchased it. It was probably 20 quid below what I could find it online. So that was a bargain I felt. And then it was delivered. And then imagine my shock and dismay where a unopened third-party toy had a repro label or insignia there until I scratched it off. So, because I'm a busy man, I chose. He's in good condition, so I chose not to message the seller. But just remind you that eBay isn't always the theatre of dreams that you expect it to be.
Dear.
It was, to be fair, he took the individual that was selling it took a picture of the top of the box where the fans toy label was still untampered with, but they'd obviously opened it from the bottom.
Sneaky.
And taken the time to say mint in box, apart from when I removed it, displayed it for a little bit, and then put a Toy Hacks label on it. However, I did have a near miss. So he's a little bit unsteady on his feet, and my desk is a little bit wobbly, and I knocked him off, and he bounced off the radiator onto the floor. And I had that like split second where I was like, I don't want to look because he's been in the house 24 hours.
It does get confusing with these acronyms, doesn't it? Like MIB, mint in box, then you've got CIB, comes in box, then you've got COB, come on box, which I thought, why do people want that? But oh well. Hope it's not a typo. This is fun.
What you choose to do with your boxes, ladies and gentlemen, is up to
You just hit that buy it now button and think about it later.
No, he definitely. I keep saying he. You don't know if it's a he. The individual selling it explicitly made one of the selling points that it was mint in box. So, but I'm not a petty man. I got a bargain. I moved on.
That could be a debate, though. That could be a discussion because, like, mint in box to me doesn't necessarily mean it's sealed. If it doesn't say mint,
He took a picture of the fucking label untouched.
Well, all right, then he's definitely trying to he's trying it on. If he's taking a photo of that, but like if you just see
it
something
looks like a dog, it looks like a dog. You think it's a dog, right?
Well,
how many sides of the box did he take the photo?
In eBay, some fucker's been using my pictures from Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and using it to sell products. So
oh yeah, I remember this.
And even using my my pictures against my unit and stuff where I'm just doing a quick snap. And eBay is like, oh no, we don't use pictures unless it's someone else who's on eBay selling something, then you're allowed to share. And I've been complaining to eBay for a couple of months now, and they just keep going, shrugging their shoulders, or we'll deal with it and doing nothing.
Those damn corporations. What
Yeah.
are they like? But it's cheeky that though. Stealing your photos is stealing anyone's photos is cheeky, but it just out of order.
Lee asked how many beers I'd had. I was stone cold sober. like proper soberly.
Soberly.
To be fair, I'm too trusting. That's my failing. That's
the thing. Good guys.
I give back to the people too much. No more. You want to go to war? We'll go to war. And that was it. That was all I got this week.
Pete chooses violence. Do you want to go next, Jamie?
Yeah. I've just got one photo to share, so I'll just share that. There's my little homage to Straxus and Blaster face off fighting against each other on the Transformers Marvel UK issue 69. 69, what a number.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's the law.
I just wish the treads on Straxus could be removed, like they were clip on, and it would have just opened up this figure so much better because they just get in the way. They really do. It's annoying because it's a beautiful figure, but if you try to get in other poses, these freaking tracks just start to get in the way and stuff like that.
Stuff blocking arm articulation, that's going to become a theme.
I've a question.
Yeah.
Question from
how did you get the space bridge behind?
Oh, I just took that from the comic. So
and then just dropped it.
I didn't. I wish I just dropped it.
Is it on the screen?
I tried to blend and then draw it, and then I had to color and stuff, and then I had to try to make it look part of the set, and I didn't do a good job at all. Actually, to be quite honest, it was a bit of a nightmare, and I messed up the coloring and stuff, but it was a nice attempt. I'm glad I tried to go at my safe zone to try to do it, But it was definitely a learning experience. And the reason the red didn't look right to me is because I had my monitor set in normal high definition instead of HDR. And I didn't fucking realise until 2 days later. I couldn't just work out. Then it worked. Then I figured out. Also, I picked up this bad boy thanks to Brad. He gave me the link. And I did buy this under the influence of alcohol. So we'll be opening this later. It came from AliExpress, so it did arrive. The box has gone through the wars, but you know, with a face like that, it deserves to get smacked around a bit. I also, which I think Andy, you're talking about today, aren't you?
Yeah, well, we will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's upside down.
Upside down.
You go.
I got Ruckus. And
I love the fact everybody says I got Ruckus. You know, there's Bludgeon in there too, but we got Ruckus.
I
That's
actually
the
don't mind. I don't mind Bludgeon. I think it's a unique take in the character. But
yeah,
for some reason, I didn't realize he was called Bludgeon until I actually had the box and had it. I went, it's Bludgeon. What? You know, I thought he was. I had a different name, and I convinced myself it was a different bot.
There was a review.
Ruckus,
Go on.
Oh, I'm just going to say, Ruckus, good fun to have. It's nice to have my version that has a face, you know, which is always very important. But those ankle tilts never going to happen. I'm never going to use them because, you know, it just looks ridiculous. It looks like high heels or he's on stilts, and I'm not going to do them. Not in my watch. So I'm well versed to the Titans Return either when they didn't have ankle tilts in some of the bots, so I'll survive. But he looks awesome as long as you don't tilt him.
You're all right, Paul.
The most backhanded compliment ever. It's great.
For a bit.
However,
Did you want your photos?
Yeah. So sorry, I had a momentary lapse of concentration there. So yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about Ruckus and Bludgeon, the 2-pack that most of us have got, or a lot of us have got in the last week or so. I started with Ruckus because, as Jamie said, it looks fantastic. It's a great visual representation of a modern-looking Ruckus, but it's not without issues. So there's good things to it, but there are some things that are little niggles that people might pick up on. One of them, as Jamie just mentioned, is the ankle tilt. And the problem is that if you actually compare Beachcomber to Ruckus, the bottom part of the leg where the ankle tilt is literally the entire extra bit they added to his leg to make him taller. And they just put the ankle tilt in there. And it does make it look strange when you're posing him. So you can see there, it makes him look like he's got a kink more in his shin than where his ankle would be. It makes him quite posable, but it just looks a bit strange. It's not the only issue as well. One of the other issues is the backpack. So we all love the fact that he is a trigger con again with proper guns on his back. But unfortunately, the backpack means that the arm articulation is quite restricted. So in terms of getting him into poses, you're going to bash his arm into that backpack when you're trying to move it round. It limits it a bit. As I said, it still looks good. And if you're a fan of the original toy and you've been waiting so long to get one, you know, how much you moan about it is up to you. But it's worth being aware of it. I've seen a lot of people commenting about how they missed out on this. It seems to be sold out everywhere where you could get it. I hope it comes into stock a little bit more.
It's available in Amazon US, which, to be honest, the only price difference is about £4. Really.
Yeah. I have to say as well, when I've ordered from Amazon US, for anyone who hasn't done it before, it's always been really good. It's got here pretty quickly. So yeah, if you can't get it here in the UK, that's definitely an option. But yeah, it's a very good figure. It's nice having the G1 version and the new version. Nice being able to just have them next to each other. Obviously, Crankcase, who was my original trigger con when I was a kid. The only other thing I found, and I don't know, Jamie, if you found this, I don't know, Pete, if you've had much experience of transforming him. When you transform him into his buggy mode, you really have to follow the instructions very carefully, because getting his arms into place at the sides is not as simple as you at first would think it is. It's a little bit of a case of you can sometimes get the one arm in perfectly, but then the other arm won't go in and sit perfectly. And I've seen quite a few reviews, because I thought, well, maybe it's my copy, but I've seen quite a few reviews that have all said the same thing. So it's just one of those things. You can get it in, and once you get it in, it sits fine and it looks great. It's got good clearance when you give it the old doot-de-doos. But it was a bit fiddly the first time, particularly until I kind of got my head around. Oh, right. So I had to go back, look at the instructions and say, why is this arm not going in? And then you figure it out. There is a set way of doing it. Try and follow it because it will work properly for it then. But it's a really good representation of the original vehicle mode. I know some people moaned about the deco because, as we saw, I think on one of these, there you go, the deco on the arms. That was a mistake because they used a photo for reference where the G1 stickers had been put in the wrong place. These are supposed to be down here on the abdomen. That's where those stickers were supposed to go, which if you look on there, you can see that they're correctly placed on my G1 Ruckus.
Well,
Thank you very much. But yes, 60 was one of the many people who was on Twitter talking about this when it kind of was first noticed. But it's not a big deal. You know, if you really got to fuss
Andy,
about that, get a Reaper.
Have you contacted Hasbro to say, look, you should have been using my pictures of my G1?
No, because they didn't have them then. So they'd have had a job. But yeah, they should retrospectively go back and change it all. No,
but
I like it. I really do.
It's probably, you shouldn't have to say it, but Hasbro aren't releasing a G1 toy, you know, an exact replica, are they? They're releasing the character again that's going to have some likeness to the original G1. Because why aren't they doing it? Then they're doing it like for like. So I think it can be forgiven just a little bit.
I'm not sure. A bit controversial there.
No, that's wrong. You're right. It's an interpretation of the original character, but it is interesting that they reference. Oh, I forgot to say as well. Some people on some of the reviews I saw didn't mention it or didn't realize it, but the little gun it comes from, becomes the front grille of a buggy. So just for anyone who'd not realised that, it becomes the front grille.
So why couldn't they paint the handle?
I don't know why they didn't paint the handle, but I'm guessing budgets.
I've got to say, these are really nice pictures, Andy, and you capture the colour good, because I have a fucking nightmare.
Oh, he's gone. He's been having some problems with his computer recently, so if anybody's wondering, I don't think he was having a nightmare with his Wi-Fi, but he kind of was. It'll be back in a second. And then there's just a shot then, and he's back.
Censored.
Hasbro turned it off. We've had enough from you. Yeah, I think it is difficult sometimes to get the colours on the photos. You see, the lighting is always. I prefer natural light to having to use like lighting to try and get the look and the colour of it. But the head sculpt is awesome, absolutely awesome. And the one thing I meant to do actually, which I will do later, I think, not tonight. But put this alongside Off-Road. If you remember the Combiner Wars Off-Road, that became one of the Stunticons, which apparently originally was going to be Ruckus. And for whatever reason, they changed their minds and they said, we'll make it a new character and chuck it in with the Stunticons. So I need to get them together because that head sculpt is beautiful. And if the face paint is good, then it looks nice. Which does take us on to the Bludgeon. So this is the IDW Stormbringer design for Bludgeon. Quiet you, spaghetti mouth. Now, if you're not familiar with this design from the comic books, then it will look weird to you. But if you've read Stormbringer, you know this is how he looks in it. And this is what he's supposed to... He's not supposed to look like G1 Bludgeon. He's supposed to look like Stormbringer, IDW Stormbringer Bludgeon. And he does. And it's, if you like that version of the character, and I don't mind it at all, it's a good look. And this figure, like most of the Tarns or Tarn mold that I've held, is just really solid, really good. Yeah, the mouth thing is because in the comic book he's got all wiring. I don't know what's happened to his mouth. It's never really explained, but I'm assuming it's battle damage. And the chest piece is new. The waist, the part around the abdomen, these parts are remolded. There he is next to next to my G1 Bludgeon, which of course was gifted to me by Mark, who we sadly lost. And it's nice having these different versions of Bludgeon. It's like we went for so long without a decent version of Bludgeon. I think only the movie toys really to actually get good versions of the character is just nice to see. I mean, I think it's pretty solid. I haven't noticed any like degradation with the mold on mine. The chest piece holds on better than it did on I think it was the first Tarn that tended to pop off sometimes with just even a little bit of pressure on it. But yeah, I mean, the tank modes, they exist. They're there. You can transform them into them if you really want to. I'm not particularly going to transform it into that mode very often. I just think for what you pay for this, I think it was about £60, Jamie, something like that.
Yeah,
I think for what you pay for this, the standard overall of the two toys, the fact that how often are we going to get a G1 Ruckus for a start? The fact that the Bludgeon is still a good toy, well made. You know, if you can get past the fact that it doesn't look like G1 Bludgeon, well, it's not supposed to. So if you can get past that fact, it's worth picking up. And if you can't, just do what everybody else is doing and sell the Bludgeons, because they started appearing the day everybody started getting these.
And I
but
think you should
overall,
pick it up
it's good
if you get a chance.
Yes, and I hope people get the chance. That's the big thing, I think, is I hope people get the chance to pick this up because, as I say, it's Amazon US, as Jamie said, is an option, but UK sellers seem to be sold out at the moment. We hope they get some more in. But yeah, overall, definitely worth buying. Definitely worth picking up if you can.
I think if you haven't experienced the Bludgeon mold, this is excellent. You know, it is an excellent mold. I think if you've already got 3 or 4 versions of it, it's another one you don't need. But
yeah,
the Ruckus is just something else, isn't it? It reminds me of, you know, when IDW did their reincarnation of the comics, and they did a really good the character design for Ruckus in the short-lived comic. Reminds me so much of this mold, or this mold reminds me so much of that comic. The head sculpt is a wicked likeness. It's just a great set, isn't it?
I think it's I think Bludgeon here is misunderstood. I think he's a great figure to have.
I thought you meant as a character.
He's absolutely. Oh, he's a bastard. Yeah, I was always like, Carnivik, kill that motherfucker. But as you can see, Ruckus, do not tilt him. If you tilt him, something bad might happen to you accidentally, of course.
Yeah,
it's a great figure. I'm just going to quickly share another move and stop sharing and share this picture.
Just why didn't they paint the fucking handles on the gun? I just don't get it. I just don't understand.
Know. Or maybe I don't know.
Just cast it out black instead of cream.
Is it because of the rub? You know, when you're putting him in and out of the hole, you get a little bit of friction there. Would it work the paint off? Serious question, Pete. Not for the first time, I think.
So basically, they were just being lazy with this ankle tilt. That's what you understand of this, Andy.
Yeah, so somebody on one of the reviews put Beachcomber next to Ruckus to show the fact that Beachcomber's foot stops where the ankle tilt is. So that's literally, they've just added that extra chunk onto the bottom of it, but instead of putting the ankle tilt at a more sensible place, they've just said, well, we'll just have to put it here. And again, I'm guessing that's budgetary. The engineering maybe to move it downwards would have cost more. I don't know. I'm not a designer, but it does sometimes get a little frustrating because he's like he's breaking his shins a bit to pose it in that position.
That's why I just don't do it. Anyone who has Titans Return, Classic Inferno, or Hot Shot, we all know how to cope. But the fact is, we don't have ankle tilt on these figures, so just don't do it, guys. It's not worth the horrendous nightmares you would have.
It's like an anti-drug.
On your, yeah,
don't kill those ankles.
Don't tilt. You know.
I do actually have something else that I've picked up this week. If I can just quickly show. So we went on a little shopping trip, and all right, these aren't for me, but kind of are for me. I saw these, and regular viewers will know that one of my sons is very much into wrestling, and I found, for starters, a new Big Boss Man figure. I used to love Big Boss Man when I was a kid. It's not in his police uniform top thing that he used to wear. It's from later on when it was WCW versus WWE, or WWF as it was at the time, and he had this more kind of SWAT gear look. So I picked up that. He has seen these, and I told him that I've just bought them for me, so he doesn't think he's actually getting them, but he will. But the next one, I just thought this was cool. So obviously I want the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collection, and they've only gone and done a crossover with wrestling. So we've got a Roman Reigns Shredder, which it just looks fierce. I mean, whether it was a wrestling figure or not, it just looks absolutely fierce. Claire's overjoyed that I've picked this up, as you can imagine.
Quick
Overjoyed.
conversion.
Do you know what? I'll be honest. I'm joking about it. She actually said she thought it looked cool. There were other ones which didn't look as cool, but she was saying, shall we buy those ones? And it's like, no, we won't buy all these ones because I don't want the other ones. Don't look as good as this.
I don't believe you, Andy.
Seriously. If you look at it, one thing that did happen, because when we bought these in the same store, there was a guy there and he was looking, and at the time I picked up the last one of these, and he was kind of asking me about it. He had I think it was an American accent, and anyway we got chatting, and it turned out he's a toy photographer himself. He's called Light Toy Photography, LITE, and he showed me his Instagram, and he's got quite a lot of followers, and he does a lot of wrestling figures in particular, but also other figures and stuff like that. So we were sharing stories about. I showed him our Transformers the Show channel, and he took a screenshot of it, so when he got home he could find it on YouTube and everything else. And we had a good chat and a good laugh. And he was buying all of them, like literally getting to the point where we got this guy out from the back to go and get the boxes so we could go through and get the ones he needed. But this guy, he then turned out he was a wrestling figure fan, and he just sold a load of his original 90s wrestling figures, and it turned into this little nerd meeting in the middle of the shop. But it was nice.
For fuck's sake.
So
Claire's dead inside now. She's just nothing there.
he's got the best name as well. When he introduced himself, he said his name's Swiss. I love that. Just Swiss.
Cool.
Maybe think straight away of Swiss Tony from Flasher. But anyway, Swiss, if you're watching, lovely to meet you today, and I'm glad you got all your figures. I'll have a look on your Instagram account for the photos and videos and stuff like that. But yeah, my son is very excited, in particular about the Shredder. He was practically drooling because he wanted this one, but he'll get them. He'll get them in the end.
Oh, welcome back,
when
Mick.
he buys them himself. Anyway.
I love how
Anyway,
you
that's
go. Claire said that was quite cool. So in your head, it goes through Google Translate. And he goes, "Well, I'm going to buy it then."
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it works. Pete, this is the law. As soon as they accept that it looks half decent, that's quite
In
good.
the basket.
Buying it.
The reality was Claire
That's the
went,
law.
shrugged her shoulders, and Andy went through Google Translate, but it turned out quite cool. Google Translate again. Buy it, Andy.
That'd be great if you could get. That's Google's next thing. Get it on your camera so you can just point it at your other half, and whatever their reaction is, it translates it. To
Body language.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fine.
It's like a filter.
She's going to kill me if I buy this. Right, we'll put that away.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Cool.
Did you get anything,
Right.
Paul? I think you're the only one
Yeah,
who
I
hasn't
did,
gone yet.
mate. Got wave 4 of Blockies, which I think was it Pete and
Yes.
Andy. You said it's a killer wave.
My favourite
It's really
wave.
good. And so much fun last night. And once you pop, you can't stop, can you? I've just done the whole lot. The kids done a couple of them, but like some of the standout ones, it's just like they do a bit of like unnecessary detail, like attention to detail, which you don't expect, like the rubber of Shockwave's little gun and stuff, which goes all the way in the back, and he's got a little gun as well, which attaches to him. They're different heights, like the way they do the different heights and stuff. Like Tarn has no right being an imposing, blocky figure, but he still is, and he carries
It's
it
still
really, really
adorable.
well.
He's-
But
he's
still cute.
imposing adorable.
How can you
It's
be
bizarre.
nemesis? How can you be like that, threatening and adorable at the same time as the whole thing? But yeah, they are just so much fun. And do you not find when you get to the end of the box, you're just like, oh, you love it, and but I'm looking forward to having them all set up, but you just want to open more up and build more and stuff. And
This is how they get you.
As a kid, you would swap parts, wouldn't you? Like I don't, because I keep them all in the correct places with the correct accessories and correct location. But some
God
children,
intended.
would
Heathens.
maybe have fun swapping all the limbs about and the guns and stuff and the chest plates.
I'll be
which I can
honest
imagine
with
would
you.
be well, good fun.
The younger version Blockies don't interest me at all. I've just been salvaging them for parts, like so they're guns and that, so I could use it for the more mature classic class Blockies. For your more
Do you think that
sophisticated-
Every time he
whole
says something
Takara
like this,
Legends
I just
things.
hear. Every time he says something like that, I just hear little classical violin music in the background.
Swinging his cognac around as he's building his blockies.
I've not went on to the cognac yet.
Smoking his
Still on-
pipe.
Still on the
I think you're
Chardonnay.
You can remember ages ago, you probably don't, whether or not you listened to me when I talk on the show, but I can't remember what section it was. People were talking about great ideas, and I said it'd be great if they ever done like instead of doing like the Hatship books again, they've done like almost like the Starship collections, where just every week you got a Transformer, but they were always the same size. It didn't matter if it was a Titan class or a Minibot; they would all be the same size. You'd end up with this collection of all Transformers, but all the same size. And I thought they'd look really cool. Well, that's what Blockies do, aren't they? They're doing. Not saying that they copied me, but trademark Paul Farrelly 2019. But that's what they did. They're doing the thing I wanted them to do. I probably wanted it a little bit more hard, but they're just great. They're just, and I'll never forget.
That's what they're missing is a little card like the back garbage pail kids used to have, isn't it? A little card that comes with
Yeah. The good thing is they do come with pogs, don't they? They don't call them pogs, but they fucking are pogs to me. Like,
yeah, the little, yeah.
Not the classic class because we're a bit older, but yeah.
Does it come with parchment?
So hang on. You just said because we're a bit older.
A 500-page book.
You have to dust it all off when you get it out.
They come with a stand with bio effects and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, actually.
Little ones come with a stand. No fire effects, though. I don't think.
So yeah, that was more.
Yeah, but this stand has an arm and fire effects.
You did. You've had
just fire effects.
Fire effects.
Fire effects. Cairo. Anyway.
So yes, that was it for me, and I'm going to be off the show for 3 weeks now. As I go, well, next Friday we're going out to see Zilla Carson, the comedian. She's really funny. Big lesbian following, and then the week after that we're spending 2 weeks in France.
Did you give that importance to the story?
Yeah. I just really appreciate being human. So yeah, so looking forward to that, and then 2 weeks going across France. So
of course that doesn't mean that Paul's house will be empty for these 3 weeks.
No, there will be somebody staying there guarding the house.
Anne Marie will be coming in every single day, twice a day, to feed the cats. So thank you, Anne Marie. You're over there. So yeah, don't fuck with her, mate. If you're going to stay
Why is that Marie sat on the other side of your room?
Well, it's their house next door to us. I mean, she's not there.
In a cage?
She's not in. Everyone's in cages. Come on, we're on holiday. Out you come. It's your 2 weeks of
Chains
freedom.
just long enough to get to the door to open it and let somebody out. Not long enough to get out themselves. Anyway,
cool. So that's mine. Is that everyone done then?
All done.
Shall we move on? Should we do a little bit of foreplay?
Lindy's are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
Ooh, top 5 seekers. What a great. This was Andy's idea. Who your favorite seekers are. So we're going to do our top 5.
Do we need to do a definition? Because the thing with seekers is people get a bit confused what a seeker, like they think a seeker is only any jet, but originally the term seekers was the jets that had the same body type as Starscream. So you've got different versions of it down the years, and others have been added, haven't they? So it doesn't just have to be from G1. There are other versions of the seekers that have come since. It'd be interesting to see what we all pick.
I thought we would be members of the 1960s soul band, the Seekers. I now see
that's even better. Let's do
you
that.
actually meant the Transformers. That makes more sense. To be fair, it would be a Transformer.
Was there a 1960s soul band called the Seekers? Because if there was,
do you know what? I bet there was. I'm going to
knowledge.
Google it now, and I bet.
What a guess that would be if there was. We could all sit there.
Right, Google.
Now we need to know.
Soul band. There is. Oh, they look awesome. Oh no, I know them. I know one of their songs.
I thought you meant you knew them personally.
Dave, Brian.
How did I forget?
The Seekers. Yeah, no, they're a proper band.
Oh, brilliant.
From the 60s. So yeah, so let us know in the chat you already are who your favorite seeker is, and we'll start off with Captain Pete, if that's all right. Who's let's do your favorite seeker.
Is that Marie escaping?
Back in the cage now. Stop it. Fucking move your biscuits.
Right. My
sorry.
No, because you're going to keep me giggling, and then I can't do it justice, can I?
I like
I'm going to do it justice anyway.
Lights up.
So, For me, it is the OG Seeker, the baddest man around town, or baddest man in the sky, and it would be Starscream. Why did I pick Starscream as my favourite? Because I didn't like him. All right, you wanted Megatron to batter him every week when he came up with his nefarious schemes to try and take over the Decepticons, or he had a better way of doing stuff, and it never came off. And Megatron always kept him at arm's length and could go in for the kill but never did, and he'd come up with all these schemes, and he was just a bad guy within the bad guy group that you really didn't like. And in the greatest cinematic masterpiece ever known to man, the 1986 movie, you felt he'd had the chance after the battle at Autobot City. He gets to kick Megatron out of Astro Train, and that's it. Starscream has got his glory. And then as he's being coronated, reincarnated Megatron turns up and fucks him up. And it was just I did feel sorry for him, because I thought maybe, you know, as a kid you're going, oh, maybe he did win. What direction Starscream's going to take it in? But no, he had about 35 seconds where he was the big bad boss, and then had it removed from him. So Starscream, the original.
Great choice. Right, Andy, who did you choose?
Well, we've kind of, I mean, we've done almost every Transformer category before, at least within ones that have G1. So we've done this before, and I've said Skywarp. I loved Skywarp's colours when I was a kid. I just loved that black and purple. It was fantastic. But because I have done that before, I thought I'd go for a different one. So this is my second favourite one, and it's Dirge, who never gets any love. So I thought, going to give Dirge some love now. I remember seeing it as a kid. I never had it, but a friend of mine did, and I managed to get one when I was an adult collector. And I love the blue, and I love the kind of gold yellow wings. I just love the design of it, because, you know, they were different to the three original Seeker jets. The three original ones, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, all basically were the same toy, but just different colours, which is fine, because that was the style of the time. But I just like the fact they did something a little bit different with the Coneheads, as they became known, even if the box art didn't actually show them as the Coneheads. And I just think the modern version of the toy that we got, which I got the Legacy version, slightly superior to the other one, just a great figure, just absolutely fantastic. I love it. Yeah, it's that simple. I really like the look of it. And I feel a bit sorry for him, because Dirge tends to get killed a lot and beaten up and just not do very much of much value at all. But he looks good, so I can forgive him for that. And it's the Coneheads. I think the Coneheads deserve more love, because they were a bit more interesting than the original ones. G1 toy, I say I've got one. There's not much to say about it. They look great. It was
a bit dodgy,
that was the reference. That was the reference, Mick. Yes, it's the style of the time. Hanging an onion from your belt. But also, there's a repaint of it, which I also own. That's not my photo, but I kind of was in a rush tonight. They repainted the Cybertron Starscream mold, which I love, into Dirge, and I was lucky enough to be able to pick that up. And it looks brilliant. The only thing with that version is the face is all black, so it's hard to pick out the details when you're doing a photo, but I still love the toy. So yeah, I'm going to go with Dirge. Everybody else will go for your boring bod standard. I'll go for the OG Starscream. That's imaginative. But, you know, I'm going to go for one that's more interesting and a little bit more out there. And I've gone for Dirge. Thank you very much for listening.
Do you always found, like, them Coneheads, because of the shapes of the wings, it always made them look like they were, like, wearing trench coats?
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, I liked it.
There's photos people have where they turned the wings because they didn't like them down like that. So people turned the wings so it was more like the other bit. It just looks wrong. It just makes them look like an upside down triangle then, and it just looks weird. Just stop it. So if you're one of those people, stop it. You've been told.
I'll tell you who aren't those people, who's my choice, which are the actual Seekers, live in the UK. Great. And now in their 60s, from the 60s. No, I went
Soul
for...
band.
I know. I think they are a soul band. They are. They are a soul band.
You see how they lied to us with the box art, though? There's no Conehead there.
Yeah, no. This my favorite. I remember looking at this picture of him loads as a kid, thinking, "Oh, it looks so cool." Just those wing type blades that he had, which Starscream didn't. I thought looked so cool, and that color misrepresents it because it's really red, and the actual thrust was like a bit of a darker red, wasn't he? Oh god, I loved him. I thought he looked so cool. Absolute want as a child. I never had any of the Seekers. I was quite disturbed when I saw them for the first time. I think we found one at a boot fair, and it was just like the body of Starscream, and it really didn't look good as a Transformer, I didn't think at the time. But then I got the Masterpiece MP. Oh, I can't remember MP. It might be MP 4, 6. It was Sunstorm, and I kind of fell in love with Seekers again. And then after that, it was probably the New Age bots. The New Age Seekers are some of the most loveliest Transformers you can get your little hands on. I've sold all mine now, but I did have Thrust, and Thrust was an impressive version of that mold. But yeah, just an absolute love as a child. That was G1 Thrust. Jamie,
the figure I bought, and I think it's good to go for the dependable, the original, the progenitors of the Seekers. And I went for Thundercracker. And Thundercracker, I always used to get the name confused with Skywalk, because I think of Sky Blue, and I would think this has to be Skywalk, but it was always Thundercracker. And then Thundercracker, which you think of Storm, Darker, would be Skywalk. But anyway, and then of course you've got the original box stats where they got them all mixed up, didn't they, between all the three Seekers. They got a bit confused, so you didn't know if he was actually thick or very clever. You know, it was hard to tell. But this always meant a lot to me, because it was part of the trio of original Transformers I got, the first Transformers I got, which would basically Skywalk, Thundercracker, Sludge, and Inferno, followed very quickly by Cosmos and Warpath. And that's my earliest memories of Transformers that I achieved. So I've always got a strong connection with this figure. And because I had that strong connection, because I actually had the figure, when you read the comics or you watched the cartoon, I was always very focused on his personality and what he was, you know, like the idea that he kind of looked down on those that couldn't fly, which he didn't really, he might have cheap shots in the cartoon, but I guess okay, evil. In the comic, I think they went into a bit more detail about that. I think for example, he wasn't really into the whole murder, kill, commit genocide kind of thing. He was kind of a nice Decepticon in some respects. You know, he wasn't evil. He was caught up in the whole situation. And I think he was mostly coerced into staying there with supportive encouragement for the genocide maniac Thundercracker and Starscream, who basically, I think, used to blackmail him into sort of staying with the sort of Decepticon kind of cause. So it was a sort of wonderful character. And then obviously, you know, Thundercracker becomes Psychonus, Skywalk becomes Psychonus, Thundercracker becomes Scourge. So everyone else got a nice new sleek kind of mold. This fucker gets turned into a sort of cross between a toaster and a Charles Dickens character, didn't he? He get turned into Scourge. And you know, and Scourge looks quite awesome, but a bit older, and then has got a beard. We always thought he would have been quite cool if he had a sort of like a Psychonus type kind of shape instead of something that's just banged a toaster. But yeah, he's a good character. I love him, and I think he's part of the original. I mean, the toy doesn't have waist articulation. You know, it has got proper ankle tilt, but you know, we cope and survive because that's what we do. We struggle as toy collectors, and we do our best in the hardships.
But no, it's true. We don't give up. Never give in.
I know. Yeah, we persevere because that's what we are. We're tough and we've been trained and we're grizzled. But yes.
I I always
my
remember
choice.
Thundercracker being kind of honourable in that he believed in more of a warrior's death rather than just he didn't just want to kill for the sake of killing if they were weaker. He wanted it to be an actual proper battle. And then they took that in like the IDW comics and they made him the one that there's that scene when Megatron and his scientists are creating basically the Insecticons and doing these horrific experiments. And Thundercracker's the one who's basically like saying to him, "What the hell are you doing? What is this?" And Megatron just kind of ignores him basically. Thundercracker has to be taken away by Skywarp to not, say or do anything that gets himself killed. But it kind of, I like that depiction of taking that idea of his personality and making him kind of that honourable one.
Because they kind of touched with that in the original G1 comics. You had almost a Catella who should never have been a fucking Decepticon because he just wasn't evil. And Carnivak knew that, and Carnivak was honourable, but Carnivak was evil. But he was on it, and he really liked Catella, so he wouldn't go around killing humans just because of basically Catella. And even after Catella was gone, Carnivak, kept that kind of oath, because he knows what he's found with a thought. And I liked that when they done that. And I can't think if they actually had any Autobots who were basically murdering evil swords from the G1. I can't remember.
Well, there's Blades, wasn't there? Blades was supposed to be willing to basically kill anyone. I'm trying to think if there was any other Autobots. I mean, there was ones in the comic. You could say like Flame from the comic books. Who, was very morally ambiguous. Yeah, basically.
A little bit of murder here.
Got to kill everyone. But yeah, there wasn't too many of the Autobots that jumped to mind straight away as being the ones that would kind of kill. Sunstreaker in the IDW comics, they kind of went a bit that way because he developed a hatred for humanity, but that was more about what they'd done to him. It's a whole long story. I won't get into it now, but yeah, there's a whole thing about that. But yeah, Thundercracker, very interesting personality. One of the more developed Seekers, other than Starscream, obviously.
Yeah, a fantastic character.
Cool. Awesome. Right, well, we've got socials coming in a second. Before that, though, it's time for Toy Tales, and it's all about Dino Riders.
There's a magical place, we're on our way there, with toys in the millions all under one roof. It's called Toys R Us. Soon after bedtime, when dark nighttime falls, Jeffrey and helpers stock up all the shelves. From ceiling to floor, books, board games and bikes, tennis, puppets and dolls, beds, spaceships and trikes. There's millions, says Jeffrey, all under one roof. It's called Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us.
It's a bit of a blank screen there at the end for some reason. Right, so Dino Riders. It's an American animated television series that first aired in 1988. Dino Riders was primarily a promotion to launch a new Tyco toy line, and only 14 episodes were ever produced, 3 of which were produced for VHS in the United States. It aired in the US as part of the Marvel Action Universe. The series focused on the battle between the good Valorians and the evil Rulons on prehistoric Earth. The Valorians were a superhuman race, whilst the Rulons were a mixture of humanoid creatures, both of which came from the future, however, ended up transported back in time to the age of the dinosaurs. Shall we play the intro to Dino Riders? Can you remember what it was like? Will this take you back? Here we go.
After years of peaceful existence on the distant planet Valoria, Questar and his people were forced into battle. The power of their step crystal ripped a hole in the fabric of time, sending them backward to prehistoric Earth. Unaware that at the same moment the evil Emperor Krulos was plotting to capture the step crystal with his own grotesque Rulon forces. And so, the battle continues in a new place and time with Dino Riders.
Ooh.
I love the idea that they just rocked up and threw these metal saddles on their dinosaurs.
Took a saddle on a T-Rex. Let's go.
Thank you, Psyop. That's quite a complicated premise for a show, which got released in 1988. But I do remember looking at these toys, absolutely loving them, and they did come out in Europe. Did any of you guys? I think Jamie, you're still picking them up now, aren't you?
You can see them at every toy fair. They're always quite expensive, but they look gorgeous. And I picked up some of the human figures a couple of weeks back, for some toy photography shots because they're just class. But yes, they're a good line, and I even have this sort of thing that came out, which was a homage to Dino Riders.
Nice.
Sort of little miniatures and stuff like that. So yeah, picked that up. But yeah, it's cool, and if they're doing Mask again, if some third party companies doing Mask again and relaunching it properly, where they draw eyes on the actual fucking human figures, and like, but if they do that, yeah, I would buy them. I would get the new Dino Riders.
This is what they used to look like. So this was the T-Rex one, and so were the characters about the same size as Mask then?
Just a bit smaller, I think.
Is it? I'm going to admit this now because we've talked about Dino Riders before. I really vaguely remember this. I don't remember a lot of people that, like friends that I had, who had these. So was this late 80s? You said, wasn't it? It was like 1988.
Yeah, it may have came out in early 90s by the time it got to the UK shores. So it was released the series. Tycho pushed it forward, but it could have come out 90s, and like Starcom sort of came out in the late 80s in the US, but didn't do very well, and they released it in Europe, and it took off in Asia as well. So somewhat more.
I remember Starcom very clearly. I remember having some Starcom, but yeah, I feel like Dino Riders has passed me by somehow.
Well, this may reignite your interest, Andy, if I play you a toy advert of Dino Riders.
Do it.
It might not.
The greatest battle in the history of the universe is about to begin. The Rulons!
They're about to attack!
Quickly, we'll have to trap them in the canyon.
The Myrmidons are harmless. Leave them be. The clever Dino Riders seal off the escape route.
It's up to you, Commandos. Now!
Leaping into the path of the thundering giants, the Commandos close off the front of the pass. Blast them to bits, Ant-Men.
Put this in your Easter basket, Crulos! Don't forget to ride home, Rulons!
The Dino Riders put on the finishing touches. But Crulos escapes on Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Look out! Sky!
The Stegosaurus! Take this, lizard lips! I'll be back, Questar! The battle is over, but the action's just beginning with the complete Dino Riders collection. Dino Riders! Harness power, Dino Riders! The Dino Riders are ambushed.
We've got you outnumbered, Gunner!
Gotcha trapped, Hammerhead! The evil Rulons on Triceratops close in.
That's enough. That's probably
was that Dr. Claw? Was that Dr. Claw?
Yeah, was that Frank Welker doing the Dr. Claw?
I thought it sounded like Tony Todd, who played Candyman. And
yeah, I know he is. I'm just trying to think if he would have been
alive. I don't know.
We must research this. We must find
Dino Riders is the franchise that Jurassic Park wishes it was, isn't it? I mean, we know what a flop Jurassic Park was. Would Jurassic Park have been successful if it had been set in the future?
And you killed the dinosaurs.
Lasers.
With warring factions.
Killing dinosaurs.
Although it was noticeable that like the Tyrannosaurus Rex looked more like the like the old style Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaurs that you'd get in stop motion films made in like the 60s. It had that kind of look to it rather than the more modern.
I always look as a biologist, I always look at it sort of like, the taxon argument or taxonomy argument about dinosaurs, and people don't really have an idea of what they probably look like. When you look at like a rabbit and you look at the skeletal structure of that without all the foreign stuff, and it looks fucking horrific and like a scary monster. Or when you look at a chimpanzee and the way a chimpanzee moves and actually runs, you wouldn't expect it, but it can run faster than a human. But the way the skeletal structure looks is all because you don't know what the muscle does and how the muscle and the tendons really change how these creatures can possibly look. So yeah, I just find it quite interesting to see what dinosaurs would look like. One day we might be crazy enough and grow one in a lab and see.
Go full Jurassic Park.
If there's one thing which comes from Transformers the show, it should be that we start growing dinosaurs.
That we end the world. The cartoon. Did the cartoon stop quite suddenly then? Was it one of those where, like, if you were watching it as a kid, you'd have got to the point you were like, oh, I can't wait for the next series, and then it just didn't come?
It just wasn't that good, to be honest with you. I tried watching it, and then I watched some other cartoons like Transformers, obviously, class, Exo Squad, amazing. It just wasn't that good a cartoon. But they're awesome toys. And I think it had a lot of potential. It just wasn't finding its feet.
It's hit the nail on the head there.
Fucking
Well, you look at a lot of
dinosaurs.
these cartoons, like if you like Jason the Build Warriors, had nothing to do with the toy line. They got these great creators who just went, I'll just make an awesome story. And that's what they should have done. They should just go with an awesome story, where sometimes some of these cartoons almost do become adverts and get held back because of it.
Agree. Right, that's it for Toy Tales. Let's do the socials. So again, I still haven't done myself a cheeky intro. So who's going to do it this week? It will be... Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Right, socials.
Can you please share the screen?
Random noises.
Because we haven't got an intro. La 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 la. Shared by young Andy. Dear Chops, who I'm not familiar with on the Twitterverse. But what a great use of yet another bludgeon mold. Customizing it into Bunzitron.
I forgot that I'd put this in the socials, because when I did the news, I actually had a panicky moment where I thought, where's those bloody pictures of that Bunzitron custom? And then I remembered. I mean, it is a very good custom.
Yeah. So many creative people. Oh, yeah, it would have looked. I can't even paint a wall.
Maybe we'll still get one. You know, Hasbro do sometimes. There might be a design somebody's already looked at this and gone, we can turn this into Bunzitron.
Before they put the mold in the filing cabinet, let's squeeze another figure out of it.
Yeah. It's not quite the sideswipe mold, but it's getting there.
No, really, really great job, boy. Dear Chops. I love that I love that picture.
If that came out as an actual official figure, I'd have bought that.
Yeah.
It's a Bunzitron. And like, again, how many Bunzitrons are we ever going to get?
No, agreed. Jim Stafford participating in Inktober, and the unofficial mascot of the show, 8-Face, assuming that it's Siege 8-Face. Again, he's not even fucking paying attention.
Sorry.
Jim Stafford is doing Inktober, as you said, and he is doing these designs, drawings of the Transformers heads. But on Twitter, he's asking you every time he does one. He asks people, "Who would you like to see next?" So if you go and you follow and you comment, it might be your suggestion that he actually draws. I mean, he didn't do mine, but that's that. I'm not bitter.
I'm making Fox either.
Megan Foxney. It's a Transformer head, Jamie. Whatever.
Next, friend of the show, Liam Blaster, getting home from a hard day. I don't know where he was working.
Thanks, Ed.
One would assume that he was working in the Ark. But still, Joy's just so happy to see him, and you can imagine his little tail wagging. And well, I don't know, do lions' tails wag? Of course they do, probably. But very, very happy to see Blaster on his return back from the work. Spooky Manta, obviously, we've shown a couple of their pictures where they've done comic covers, reenactments, and another exceptional one. But what sticks out for me is how nightmarish the painting is on RC. I mean, that is, I mean, it's a great picture, and yeah, and Spooky Manta is not
Picture's
responsible
great,
for us.
to be clear.
Yeah.
The picture's
However,
awesome. But oh, you see the face. Look at the face.
Shopping out with a lady that looked like that.
Like a porcelain sex doll. Anyway.
Chansey.
I was just going to say that. Oh my god.
Chansey.
Just constantly moving around the house, and you can't remember. I can't remember where you left her.
It's weird. Something just flashed across. I'm not joking. The screen, your screen, Pete. When I looked at it, I'm going to go back to 134 on the recording. I wonder if it was a ghost of Chansey.
Don't want to be. I'm here on my own.
Oh, I'll come round.
No. Joe, what movie stars? I am infantile. This, the first movie that came to mind with Springer, Hot Rod, and RC wasn't Transformers movie 1986. However, that's my childish humour. The three of the more popular characters from Transformers movie 1986. It wouldn't be Social's Corner without a picture from Plastic Crack. In homage to the, it's almost like he knew what foreplay was going to be this week with the Blockies Seekers. Nothing else to say on the Blocky Seekers. They are amazing and quite possibly
the greatest Transformer of all time.
One of the
shit's doing on my screen.
I can't believe when we put this into socials that you never reacted. So
yeah,
it's like
one of the most legendary triple changes. Ignored it.
The messages.
Didn't want to see it. He didn't want to see it. More like
next thing you know, Paul's calling his work. I quit. It's serious. I missed a CJ face.
I'm slipping. They're getting past me too easy. It's a young man's game.
There is socials for this week.
Thanks.
Was that for Ziggy?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Excellent work from that man.
Could have the photos that Fasigi and Plastic Crack do. You could have a social corner dedicated to them. Exceptional work.
Cameron's gone blurry, but that won't stop us doing fucking beer of the week. So last week we chose, I think it was a Lost Brew one, which was, I think it was Pete, it was your idea, wasn't it?
Yes.
We all went out, bought one, which was lovely. We all drank it together. The week before, I think we all chose a beer, and everyone popped out and get. So this week we've all chosen Sapporo, the premium Japanese beer. Pete and Andy can be fucked to go and get one. So
shit doesn't stop it.
Hang on, that is not.
No. Someone, not them. Someone had already been shopping, and it was beyond themselves to move and go to the shop and get one.
We don't get Sapporo up here. Oh, actually, we do. You live in a different town.
I know.
Destroyed my argument immediately.
I covered more miles looking for that beer.
Yeah. Didn't go to work all week.
Uphill, down dale. Sapporo does not exist.
Didn't even use the car. Tripping over Peroni. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Wild Peronis running across the fields. But could I find a Sapporo?
Camden Pale Ale.
I've had Sapporo before. It is my favourite lager. It is astonishingly good.
Really?
Yeah, it's so nice. Really, really nice. Yeah, it is lush. So looking forward to next week. It'll be one of their choices. So we'll probably all get one then.
What I love is when you said was it last week when you said, "Hey, you don't have to join in, everyone. It's fine. Don't feel bad.
But I will
it's optional."
judge you.
And the moment we don't join in, it's like you absolutely.
You couldn't even buy it on Amazon. I tried to buy it on Amazon, but they've only like 40.
Oh, look at them.
I tried, bro. Lily couldn't get it.
I'm not like those other two bastards who just didn't care.
At least Jamie said he wasn't going to do it. Do or do not.
Because he fucking looked. He couldn't buy it anywhere, so he thought, do you know what? I'm going to abstain this week. I'm going to take the moral high ground. I'm not going to admit that it's unavailable.
Yeah. Let's do the discussion. Discussion. Oh no, we've got an intro. We don't have to hum that. We've actually got an intro for that.
We now return to the Transformers.
So a couple of discussions tonight. The second one, I can't remember what it was, but it was in the chat. The first one is TF1. Transformers One's hit the UK cinemas as right now. So loads of photos today. It's weird because building up to it, I saw so many people getting to see the previews. Obviously, Pete and Jamie were the chosen ones. They got to see it at Leicester Square or somewhere ages before it was released back in fucking June 2018. And then everyone else has seen it because there's been some like previews, hasn't there, over the last couple of weeks, which kind of made me think that everyone's kind of seen it, apart from me and a couple of other people. But actually looking at social media today, it is chock-a-block of Transformer fans going out there taking photos in cinemas. The only one I saw which was empty was Lily, but it was right at the end. But I think like Peter Sapporo is a bit spicy. It's bubbly. A couple of people had here's Lily. Looked around the cinema, it looked a little bit empty at the end. Hopefully it was packed at the start. Please no spoilers yet, no spoilers, promise, no spoilers.
Spoiler free.
We will wait the same length of time we waited for the movie 86, which was a good 40 years almost before we started going through spoilers. 35.
Just
The 2019 we started.
In 35 years, when we're talking about it, we'll give out the ending.
I know we're not many episodes away from being live. Well, from being 5 years on YouTube doing Transformers the show.
Yeah, it's mad. Absolutely mad.
I think with Transformers One, I think with this sort of drive, and it's good to see the fans going there. But I think it's not the converted, you need to convince to go to see, because we'll all go and see it maybe once or twice. Face maybe some people some more, but I think it's about trying to get people who wouldn't normally go, or who have not seen the advertising because there's hardly been any advertising out there. There's sort of like the shops and that, and I know culture's changed. We've talked about this all last week as well. But, I think the most positive things is getting people to go who wouldn't normally go and getting them to talk about it. And I think that's what some people have been trying to do. And that's a great thing to see. People who wouldn't necessarily want to go to see a cartoon or something, they might say, oh, maybe it's not going to be that great. I do find it interesting, though, that a lot of people in the Transformers community who might be a bit negative and were at TF Nation, how quickly they have been turned around. So and some of those people are right stubborn bastards, so if they managed to convince those guys to go and see it, there's hope there.
I think it was interesting with the comment that just came on about people leaving before the end. When we went to see it, and obviously Dave was there, and Gav was there, and the Granger brothers, and when it finished, the kids kind of got up to leave, and I got up with them, and it was Dave who actually kind of indicated to me, just went, "You don't want to go yet, sit down," because he must have been told about the. I didn't know about that there are bits in the credits, so you need to watch it. But it's not every film, Jamie. You're pulling a face, but it's not every film.
Most every fucking film.
But not every film. I'd heard nothing about it. Normally, when there's a post-credit scene, everybody's saying, "Oh, don't leave before the credits end," and not one fucker said that. Nobody had indicated this. Dave only knew it because he knew people who'd seen it, and they said to him,
"Don't go." Granted, with the young hip population, we just know this stuff.
Well, I mean, as you are so down with the youth of today, Jamie, I should have known.
I am the youth.
Yeah. Skib off your Riz.
Here we go. Skibbity toilet.
Stop mewing at me. Cool.
It is nice to see, though, all over social media about people getting excited about going, because you take out the fortunate, lucky people that were able to see, those screenings. And
the
stuff.
Blessed ones.
There's, it's been a long old time coming, and the fact that the rest, a big chunk of the world, has had access to it right up until this weekend, does make you think that the UK are a poor relative.
I do not understand. I'd love somebody from the marketing team or whatever to come out and say why they had the delayed release. it doesn't make sense in this day and age to have it. You know, I know we had it back with Transformers the movie, the original one back in '86, but now why?
It's almost like I said last week. Someone wanted to see it fail. There's people there that didn't want to see it do it as well. I mean, you've already got stupid posts out there on social media. Some. No, I'm going to use the word TWAT. Idiots. That's not how you spell idiots.
Steady.
You know, you're going, only Bayverse can save us now. Like, you need, and you're going, no, it's actually a damn good product, you know. And what saves these type of products is not usually the ticket sales anyway. It's always the merchandise, and even in the merchandise, they're screwing that up. So it's like third party, like Blockies have got more. Blockies and fucking Yolo Park have got the products coming out en masse for people to lap up, but there should be other stuff out there.
Yeah, waiting for the studio series stuff on TF1 till April next year is just
it's ridiculous.
Fucking madness, isn't it?
Although there was like we discussed this last week, I think it was in the Smiths toys that is nearest to me, they had lots of Transformers One toys there, but it was all the more kid orientated figures rather than studio series, which is, as Hasbro say themselves, aimed more at the adult collectors. But it was like your I've forgotten what they call it. Is it Battle Changes or something like that? And they had like the Sentinel Prime. Some people have said that Battle Changes Optimus Prime and the Sentinel Prime and the other, I think there's a Bumblebee as well, that they're actually decent fun figures. They're not obviously necessarily got the build quality of what you'd expect from a studio series figure, but you know, if you're just wanting something that looks like the character and look nice on your shelf, it's an option, isn't it? But yeah, they need to get the stuff out there.
Primetime Off said why are people still asking why the delay? It was for school holiday. It's a kids' film, you idiots.
But it's not the school holidays, Wolf.
It's not.
It's not the school holidays here for 2 more weeks, and across a lot of the UK, it's not the school holidays now.
And
so,
other fucking European countries as well don't have school holidays this year either. So no, it's not school holidays.
Moth.
I mean,
you cross the line there, Moth.
Yeah,
stick your ravage up your back.
Do you have more countries basically making up a United Kingdom? You know, Wales is a country. We have to admit that.
Whoa! I can't Flash. What's this?
It's split up into 3 educational regions, which have different holidays from each other, and within those educational regions, they have different holidays from each other as well.
Yeah.
So no, if someone came up with holidays that would have been just for one area, then that would have been in London, and even London has different holidays. So the schools don't all match at the same time to try to keep down problems and issues and stuff. Kids going out and having fun in the park, you know, they don't want that.
He's gone again.
I feel like he got absorbed into the Matrix then. His voice went all like... Moth just texted me anyway. And
he's
said,
censored. Somewhere there's someone sat at Hasbro to keep pressing a button. Shut up, Jamie.
The voice was awesome as it finished. Your voice went really electric, like it was on the Matrix.
Is Jamie really AI? Or we just haven't realised it yet?
I've never met him in real life. Has anyone? Oh no, I have loads of times. Sorry. Moth just texted me and just said you're all dick splashes. SGM Lord Mirage said
he's so eloquent. He's got away with words. He's a poet, really.
He didn't say that. He would never be that mean. He's too nice. He's such a gentleman.
He'll send the message now.
No, he will, yeah.
Each of us individually.
Oh, it's still going on. But by releasing it at a time with the first, then it will capture all.
SGM Lord Mirage,
Shut up,
Mike.
Is that fucking Shakespeare? Because I don't understand that.
Chatting BS.
Anyway, that's a bull. It's still a bullcrap thing because the film was released over in America during what would have been our summer holidays, which was the perfect time to drop it and have the kids who are on holiday go and see it.
America has fucking different holidays as well.
Moth.
So Moth.
Yeah.
United States is a clue.
Still like you though, but you know.
Anyway, I feel like this is now becoming a row with Moth rather than talking about TF1 and its success.
So it's released in the UK and other countries in the European Union on the 11th of October. The digital release is on the 22nd of October. So literally in 10 days' time in the US, you'll be able to get the digital release of Transformers One. Do you think they've changed their because they feel it maybe hasn't got the success at the box office, they don't think there's going to be this long lag of people going to watch it. They've brought forward that digital release.
But then you see that cinema views have gone down and are going down pretty much constantly. So going to your digital release is now where a lot of companies think they're going to get the money back from the films anyway. It's not from the cinema goers, because cinema going numbers are dropping because the cinemas are so expensive. So things are always going to go quicker to digital. It's amazing how often a film comes out. I'd be really interested to see. A lot of people have been comparing the performance of TF1 to Joker 2 or Joker Part 2 or whatever they're calling it, which has come out, which has been absolutely panned critically and by fans, of that franchise and of the original film. So it'd be really interesting to see how that does in comparison to TF1, which is a film that has been critically acclaimed. Mostly fans have said how good it is. Will that have any impact, or will people still go and see the Joker Part 2 just because it's Joker Part 2? But is
it really bad, Jamie?
When you've got clips of the actors from one of the premieres, and I don't know if you've seen this online, it's been shared on social media. It's Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga stand up at the end of the film. He turns to her, and the lip reading, and to be fair, it does look like he says it. He just goes, "Well, that was horrible." Now, at the end of your own film, is that a positive response? I don't feel it is.
I like Phoenix as well.
Well,
Prime time off.
enjoy the Joker, but
there's a bunch of morons. Hashtag unsubscribe.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Moff. I'm just saying, please don't unsubscribe.
You're definitely wrong. You're saying you're definitely wrong, actually.
The gun, the prime time wars.
Look, don't have a go at him just because he can't spell Mormons. That's not his fault. He's doing his best. Exactly. Lord Mirage has got it right there. The price, like even here in the UK, the price for going to the cinema, the tickets aren't cheap. But then if you're going to buy food and stuff when you're there, I mean, the price of that is ridiculous.
But a lot of cinemas do, especially around my area and Essex area as well, they do offer you packages where you go in and see it for £5. And
But that's certain times of the day usually.
And you could bring in your own sweets and that within reason.
You can do that.
Fucking Chinese and Indian.
Jamie, you're not the boss, mate. Get it delivered. Get a Deliveroo guy coming up the steps. A waiter bringing it up with a platter. Send it down there.
Thanks, Mailing. Bumble Jump 82. My favourite part was when Joker said, "You can't read my Joker face." That's not real, is it? He doesn't say that.
I've seen things saying
that can't be.
My son
Jamie,
said to me,
did you see
favourite
that?
part of Joker 2 is when the Joker says,
I actually
it's joking
just
time.
didn't watch it after a while. Just stopped.
You stopped your brain.
Yeah. Started to sleep.
I watched what was good recently? Avatar 2. I thought that was excellent. Have you seen Avatar 2?
No. Yeah, it's I mean, it was good, but it felt like they were trying to do too much with it, and it became very much like really pushing the whole eco-environment element of it, almost a bit too much from the more simple story of the first film, but still really good story of the first film.
Yeah, I was really not looking forward to watching it, and actually pleasantly enjoy it. I think sometimes that helps if you're not really up for it.
I think Rise of the Beast was like that for me, because a lot of people were negative about Rise of the Beast, and I went in there thinking, "Oh God, I don't like these two actors. I don't know it," and I really enjoyed them as well. I enjoyed all the characters and that. So I'm going to
say something though to save you all 2 hours of your life. Don't watch the new Hellboy film, which I have seen.
Andy, I have planned to watch
2 hours of my life I will not get back.
I'm watching that bad boy.
Well, then I pity you, my friend. I pity you.
I watched Wolverine versus Deadpool and Wolverine. That was okay.
Oh, that's very good. Yeah, that's excellent.
We've
gone off the rails here with this discussion. Exactly what's a good film?
Now we'll bring back. Jamie mentions Rise of the Beast, and now I've never seen the community so infused about Transformers film, and I never thought it would be this one as well. It's more of a Pixar film by the looks of the trailers. I haven't seen the film at all, but that's what we all got to see, wasn't it? That Pixar type trailer. That's what we've all latched onto, and that's what we've been shouting about, saying more people need to watch this film. putting photos of us all going to the cinema and stuff. That didn't really happen with Rise of the Beast or any of the Bayverse, from what I can remember. So why do you think this one has captured us so much? Is it because we also got good reviews?
I think it's the fact it's a good film, but it's also the fact that we've been craving this film. This is a Cybertron set film with no human characters, with all Transformers, that tells a good story, and people are actually who've seen it are actually enjoying it. And people enjoy it, and they're trying to. Bad Romance wasn't bad. And it's amazing. You're all right. It's amazing to see the push on social media. I don't know if you've seen the TF Hype guy, the stuff with him, and he's been trying so hard to push it, as have other people. But like it's like exploded now, and they got him trending on Twitter because of like the amount he's been trying to push it. And now other people have joined
the
in.
bastion of middle class elitism.
And then Sixo's actually had him on for an interview now. You know, he's literally interviewed him about all of this kind of stuff that's been going on. It's just amazing to see the community trying to push together to help this film to make sure it's a success, because it deserves to be a success. And Jamie's right, we need people who aren't the Transformers fans, aren't us, to go and see it. But
because I've got to be honest with you, Twitter community
in the
is fuck altered. It's driven by media. It's almost like the Twitter community is good for trying to convince the journalists who have actually mostly been quite positive. There have been some negative ones, probably at IGN and some other places, because they didn't get the backhanders they used to. Allegedly, but
I've got a backhander here.
All faults are faults of Jamie and not Transformers the show.
This man does not represent us.
Andy wrote it down first. But I just think
I did what now?
Rise of the Beast, it was all the mainstream. It seemed like that, and it was supported from the onset. Hasbro was supporting it from the onset. If anything, the toys were coming out a bit too fast, and the products had already changed within the actual movie. So they were geared up and ready for Rise of the Beast. Everything was there to support it. The journalists were behind Rise of the Beast, because the journalists were pushing some stupid agendas sometimes, and I didn't care because it was a fucking good film, And but the thing with Transformers One, I think they didn't like Chris Hemsworth for some reason. Some people were negative about that. And there was obviously no merchandise getting ready. They weren't flooding there. Almost like it feels like to me, and I'm going to say it, unless Hasbro ever sponsors it, now I'll happily change my opinion. They were setting them up to fail. It almost feels like the industry was setting them up to fail, even though these talented super people, the artists, the actors, were giving everything they had. I think the marketing actually was good from what the marketing can do. Yeah. But if the merchandise is not there, there's not much fucking marketing can do. There's like no one making anything for them to actually market. So I think with Chris Hemsworth, I think the reviews, the screenings were great, letting kids go in to see it. I think, all the actors seemed to be genuine when they talked about it, like they weren't forced. There was none of the rolling the eyes or, it was good to see.
Do you think they've pandered too much to Transformers fans, whereas a film like Dark Knight didn't and was a phenomenal box office success? No one had to be convinced to go along and watch it. Whereas we're trying to convince people to come along and watch a good Transformers film. You're talking about a different genre of film, because this is it's a good Transformers film for us, and that was a bad Transformers film for us. Everyone watched the bad Transformers film for us, and everyone's watching the good Transformers film for us. No one's.
There's a thing with animation, though. Animation is looked down upon, particularly by kind of people after a certain age, that you think animation is a kids' film. Obviously, there's you've got anime and stuff like that, which is different, really, and can thought of in a different way. But this is an animated Transformers film, and so for a lot of people looking at it, they'll just think this is a kids' film, and it's not just a kids' film. The quality of the storytelling and the dark elements of some of the story elevate it above that to just being a really good science fiction film. So if you're a fan of science fiction, then you would enjoy this film, even if you're not a Transformers fan. The problem is getting that message out to people. And that's where the fandom is trying to do that. But, it's how much we can do.
But they're just screaming into their own echo chambers and own bubbles. What they need to do is get it out there. They need to speak to people who are not really fans, and and just be honest about it and just say it's a good movie. It's like the old days when you used to see Shrek and stuff like that, or Toy Story, before the market was flooded with very poor recent animated films, which I think has probably resulted in this. It's been very rare to come across a very good animated film, and ironically, I think a good animated film was released the exact same time as Transformers One came out. So there was two good ones to choose from.
There's fatigue as well, because we've had a lot of Transformers films when you actually think about it since 2007. You know, we've had a fair amount for the franchise, mostly obviously live action films, but that's a lot. And they all of the Transformers films, live action ones, had declining returns, and it does seem to be a little bit of a fatigue element. You know,
Pete, what do you think?
But I guess to Andy's point there, it does run in line with the financial impact of those visits, to the cinema and stuff. And I know Jamie made the point earlier that there are bundle deals and there are cheap days and all the rest of it. But it's not when you're not going to take the kids to the cinema on a Tuesday night. You're going to go on a Saturday or a Sunday, and the cinemas know that, and I think that's their opportunity.
But they're
much
cheap
like other
deals on the
leisure areas.
Saturdays and the Sundays as well. I mean, that's the thing.
I genuinely, I think if you can spend $12.99 on a movie and have it forever and watch it whenever you want, you're not gonna then spend 30. Let's be generous. Let's say 4 of you, man and wife, son and daughter. It's going to cost you 30 quid at least, maybe more.
Minimum, absolute minimum. 30 quid.
Yeah.
I've never been
if,
to cinema with my family for 30 quid. It's a £50 trip out.
Yeah, Bob Smith, pops in on his way home from work and gets a £5 Odeon seat. Yeah, fine. It's on your own. But again, what's going to make the money? What's going to make, like Jamie was saying earlier, it's the merchandise. Well, who's going to purchase the merchandise? It's going to be the kids that are enjoying the film, and they go to the toy shop for the weekend. Yeah, and I think that's the impact. And to comparing it to Paul saying about a Dark Knight Rises. Yeah, Dark Knight Rises, cinematic genius, but it was also 10 years ago now, 12 years ago, where I reckon the change in costs is probably astronomical.
But is that because of COVID, basically? COVID has changed a lot.
Cost of living, let's blame Putin.
Because he lives.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, Dark Knight was a sequel. The first film, the first Batman Begins, was a massive success. So immediately you already had an audience who were going to go and see The Dark Knight. And the fact that then The Dark Knight was a great film obviously massively helps that, because there's lots of people already going to go and see it, and then the word of mouth gets around. By the way, it's effing brilliant, go and watch it. And of course then there was Heath Ledger dying and the impact that had because of the publicity.
But you're right,
from that. Whereas this is a standalone Transformers film. This is not, and it is a standalone. I know there was people saying, "Oh, it's a Bayverse." It's not. It's not. The Bay company, Michael Bay's production company, is involved with the making of the film, but it's not. And Triple Takeover have done their interviews, haven't they, with Lorenzo Di Bonaventura? I can't remember how you say his name, but him, the guy who's produced pretty much every Transformers film, and he says in the end, it isn't a Bayverse film as such. I mean,
and that's going to tabloids again, isn't it? PR journalists usually destroy franchises before they get a chance to get their foot in the door, because the journalist just makes up all crap for some stupid opinion they have, or agenda opinion, whatever way you want to call it. They usually just speak pish, and it doesn't give the film a fair chance, because I think with Transformers One, it should have been out in August in the UK. People would have had all the time to go and see it with the kids. I think they're choosing this time of year when money's going to be tight. You've got Christmas coming up, you've got Halloween. You got a lot of parents who are going to be strapped for cash. If any idiot who chose to pick a worse time, especially when you've got autumn and everything's getting darker, and the times are changing, they picked the worst time. And it's like people said, it's like you don't release a cartoon aimed at children at this time period.
If you believe
know,
in a
even-
film, it's a summer blockbuster. You will release it in the summer
Or
because
right
you know
at Christmas when you're making a big Christmas event.
Yeah.
You know, when most of the nation will have a unified holiday. Not this type of event.
Is there the possibility that actually it could come out digitally, and based on what Pete's saying, where I'm thinking I will go and see it because I'm a massive fan, the normal family, the dads are probably like struggling to get the kids to come in to watch it and say like, oh, do you want to come to cinema to watch it? They're going to get it digitally, and the digital release could actually do really, really well, like far beyond the cinema releases.
We have film nights at home far more often than we ever go to the cinema, because it is like Pete said, you know, you pay $12.99, you've got the film, you can buy a load of like food and snacks and stuff, and you make it an event and all sit together and watch whatever film it is. We kind of do that quite regularly when there's kids films, particularly or family films that come out digitally. It's just kind of, it's the new, let's be honest, it's the new go to the cinema because of the fact it's so much more affordable for people, and it just.
But how long before the streaming becomes
you can smoke
free? If you just wait an extra month.
My kids love that.
Sorry, what was that to me?
If you wait an extra month, would it just become free? Would it just suddenly become on Amazon?
Yeah, how long before you can just get it anyway? Like you say, and then it's on Amazon Prime or Paramount Plus is the most likely one, obviously, for the Transformers stuff. Because
Paramount Plus sucks when it comes to their streaming ideas. You know, they're pretty much screwed over some of the Star Trek franchises the way they decided to take them off of the digital big streamers like Netflix and Amazon, and shove them in the Paramount Plus, and no one cared.
Imagine if we could do a whole podcast about Star Trek. And
every Friday
at
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
When you're half past.
Quick change the
welcome to something about Star Trek. Was it Dino Riders? I can't remember.
Could we do next at midnight?
But the way we recognize success now needs to change. You know, they're going. It needs to break even. It needs to deliver the number at the box office. It needs to why?
But we're comparing your Bayformer films that made billions, and you know that were like huge
Again,
films.
when was the last Bayformer?
I think
last night.
I think the industries seems to always knew what success was, and I think they always realised it always comes down to the merchandise in the end. Like Star Wars, its biggest success was all the merchandise it was able to sell and hold on for the years when it wasn't making any more movies. And I think they fully understand that. I think it's your journalists. I mean, the thing I've noticed is when journalists make a comment, or this film is for this person and stuff like that, the people who are making the films will go, actually, we do want these people to go and see it because, you know, it's about getting the message to them. We don't want to exclude anyone. And, you know, there'll be something that go, this isn't for this group, or it isn't for adults, you know, and it's like, for fuck's sake, don't kill a film like that, or start trying to put the perception. Like Nickelback is a good example, isn't it? When everyone just started to slate Nickelback. And it became fashionable to slate Nickelback, even though, let's be honest,
They've been so successful. Have you not seen Paul that bit with Deadpool?
Yeah,
and the lad from Boy Meets World or whatever it was. And he absolutely schools him on it. And even I watched that and I kind of went, oh.
I just don't like
genius.
People who like
Absolutely
Nickelback.
Genius.
Anyway, don't do Nickelback and Ape Face in the same channel.
It's too much. It's too real, Gene.
It's just too much. The week's been too hard. Don't do that to him.
That's
cool. Okay. Last one. Okay. So the last bit of discussion was what Transformers merch other than figures do you collect? So like games, clothing, board games, bus, car games.
Well, I'm getting the best
underwear.
game tomorrow, and I can't pronounce its name, but it's the same guys who make Persona, PlayStation 5.
Oh, yeah.
I tell a lie, I can't pronounce its name, but you know how when you just can't be bothered to read the words? It's Persona, it makes a Persona 5. It's like an RPG, it's set in a fantasy world. It's getting launched tomorrow. It's actually released today, but digitally, and I'll be getting that tomorrow.
I've seen the trailer. From what I know, what you mean. Like, and I get the same with Persona, like the Atlas games and stuff. I can't be bothered to learn their words. They just have something in my head. Pete will come to me in 2 seconds. It just has something in my head.
Quick question.
It's great. I think Pete's question was that's nothing to do with Transformers, though. Is that right, Pete?
I don't want to be a dick about it. I was just
wasn't
wondering
just
which
what you
Transformers
like.
were in it.
I got wrestling figures. Anyway, no. It's the thing with the other Transformers virtues. A lot of it kind of seems to fit. Like, remember the card games that we've had?
Yeah.
And like, everybody play these games with the card games, and it never seems to properly take off. But the cards are cool. I'd like some. I tell you honestly, if they. This is just me being old. If they re-release the original sticker album that we had back in the 80s with the stickers, I mean that would sell. People would be all over that. Even like they do the trading cards and stuff like that. Something like that I'd probably collect if it was the artwork and shots from the film and shots from the cartoons, even through the whole history of Transformers. But I don't know what else I'd actually pick up that's Transformers themed that's not Transformers figures. The games, obviously, because you've got to give the games a chance, haven't you? But what else is there?
Yeah, you spoke about the cards, and there's a few iterations. There's a new one. There's a Kickstarter out now, which looks really good. The cards for me were just not collectible. So if you think about Star Trek, the collectible card game, or Star Wars, the collectible card game, or Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, a lot of the cards are about like characters. So you could have Starscream. That wasn't the same. Transformers, they made a massive fuck up, I think, with the TCCG.
That's
all the cards were all like games, like playable cards rather than the profile war. Whereas when you play a card game or a collectible card game, you want the majority of the cards to be like Starscream or some random.
I got that Bunch game. I got
you've got that
Bunch game. Yeah, Maylin purchased. I think she spent about a good couple of pounds on that, buying the Bunch thing, and then I thought, it's okay, but it was just badly designed, and I think everyone's been. We've always got these card games coming out for Transformers, and nothing ever gets to take root. It usually involves a lot of cost buying and stuff, and then it dies out, so you've lost that investment. And I think I think you need to come in with a better approach, something which is not designed to try to suck the money out of people.
But that is. I agree with you, Jamie, but that is the style of stuff nowadays. It's like it's all about.
It's so lame, isn't it?
It's like blind bag stuff for kids nowadays. It's you just suck the money. I mean, we've bought. There's something that my daughter collects. It's like a little teddy bear thing, but you don't know what you get because it's a blind box. And she's had the same frigging one 3 times out of the last 4 that she's bought.
I refuse to take
like,
part in
oh
blind
my
box
god!
stuff.
It's just what the.
I mean, it's borderline gambling, isn't it?
Except Blockies, because Blockies blind box stuff is wonderful, and we all enjoy that.
Do Blockies blind
Shiny.
box? No, even Blockies. No offense to Blockies, I do love you, but blind box is a bad idea. Buy the big huge box.
Buy the
everything
wave.
at once,
Get it all.
because I do know that there's some countries like Australia, for example, they're very much watching the idea of loot boxes in games. They've banned that. They've stopped games from doing that. Blind boxes is also starting to get looked at because you are, like Paul said, it's basically gambling for kids. You might get the thing you want.
It is,
but probably not.
You know? It is, and you're exactly right, Jamie. It's, Australia is one of the places, but they've even been looking at it over here because it is gambling. It's a form of gambling. It's like, oh, what will I get? I don't know. That's
why, as responsible reviewers, we always say get the wave box for Blockies. Fantastic, wonderful buy. Don't get the blind boxes.
Anti-Blockies chat going on.
no, we love Blockies.
No.
If you don't own a Blocky, and there's lots of bees.
Heathens.
Go out and
one's
buy
in Wales,
Blockies.
one's in Scotland.
I think other than
one's Mick. You can't pay attention to this. So I'm joking, Nick. I'm joking.
Oh, it's still going on. There's some there's some proper bits of the Transformers which isn't almost merch, is it? Like the comics, they're not merch. They're part of Transformers. The toys, they're not merch. That's part of Transformers. The films, they're not merch. and Marvel UK stuff. So all that stuff, like,
Good reference, Mick.
it doesn't really feel like merch. The merch stuff's quite like ad hoc. Like, I don't really. You got the games, I guess. That's
We
probably
consider
the biggest thing.
Blockies like the merch stuff
Are they
rather than
merch?
actual
What about the
Transformers?
t-shirts?
Well,
T-shirts
see,
are a
this
big
is t-shirts,
Transformers
but I see. I
thing.
do like a good t-shirt. Like if you could buy, say, an exclusive, I don't know, t-shirt that shows your love for a particular YouTube show. I mean, just imagine what world we'd live in if that was possible. It's a nice t-shirt you got on, by the way, Pete.
Can I just point out it was Dave Nipples who started off this anti-chat?
Yeah.
Down
Yeah,
with
on the
Dave!
list. You're on the list, son.
Wait
Careful
till
now.
Toy Me, Toy You starts on Sunday. And we get in the chat. We'll tear it up. We'll have a firm battle.
Toy Me, Toy You.
The fling poo.
I'm going to do constant comments about Dino Riders for an hour.
Oh dear!
If you get Blocky Dance, you win. Not the Rise of the Beast one.
I tell you what, the stuff will be on the way. You know, with Blockies, I think it seems to be.
I remember the game's name, Metaphor. A hard name to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Metaphor for Transformers merchandise.
Yeah.
Right, I've gone blurry, and it's not due to the amount I've
Yeah,
had
it's
to
late.
drink. So let's wrap it up, shall we? Anything else, chaps, before we finish off?
No, I think we've covered everything.
No.
Yeah.
But
As revealed here, groundbreaking news last week, TFN will have a meeting place, the dairy, where you can go to meet up and drinks and show off your toys. There will be signposts, hopefully showing you there. It might be opened a little bit later by 5 minutes or maybe more, but we, you know.
If we all pester them enough, they might stay on. And Mop, stop it. We've had that conversation. Anyway.
Right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please head to Facebook, the group. Now, I think if I hit end stream, it plays the outro. So fingers crossed. If it just
Let's find out.
If it just goes off, then apologies, because it's a fucking good outro. Right, love you lots.
Bye.
See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
It's time for Transformers, the show!